Hello, everybody, and welcome to Revolution Outbreak. We have a huge tourney today, but before we get into the main fight, I just want to introduce myself. I am Bite Me. I'm going to be the play-by-play caster for today, and the other person in the call in the corner, the Bob Ross paint to the canvas that will be this game, Maddie.
What's going on, guys? It's Maddie. Welcome back. We have a great tournament to kick off today, and I could not be more happy to get to cast the first match alongside Bite Me. We have so many teams going up today, but our first match, as stated before, was Drip versus Cratos, and I could not be more excited.
Yeah, and they're playing for some big money. It's $800 for first place, $200 for second place. 24 teams all grappling at each other's throats for the chance to just get a smidge of that cash.
Yeah, and the event's going to be hosted today by Coach Careless. He is the sponsor of this entire event, and he's why this event is happening for you guys today. But I should quickly explain how this entire tournament format is going to work. We're going to be looking at pool play. So we've got 6 pools of 4 teams in each pool. They're going to be fighting to get out of their respective pools. And our first pool we're focusing on today is B. So we are looking at Drip versus Cratos, as I said before. And once we get out of the pool play and we get into our final 8 teams, we'll be looking at single elimination bracket.
Now, I think we should get into nitty-gritty. What's actually better than the money in this tournament? That there are no hero bans. These players can play whatever they want. Everything's open table, including the new hero, which everybody so wants to play. And I'm really excited to see her get played in this game today, if they're really gonna play her.
Yeah, Echo in play, it means a lot of things for this game, and I mean, we really don't know what to expect, right? Because when you look at any example of pro play, any sample size we've had of Echo, there have been bans in place, so maybe there's a comp we have yet to see that Echo can actually be worked into, or maybe there is no Echo in the comp we're going to be thinking that. And either or, I think it'll make for very interesting matchups, and these teams can be the first ones to showcase that to us today.
Yeah, actually, so going off of all the new changes, so a lot of nerfs to CC that we haven't really been seeing in Owl because they haven't, they're on an earlier patch of the game. They don't have these nerfs yet. Do you think we're going to see any major changes to the meta?
Honestly, I can only say that with certainty, at least, that there's probably going to be one hero we're going to be seeing, and I know you're probably already thinking May.
Ooh.
May is still a very important character to the meta right now, despite some of the changes that have gone under her recently. I expect to see May at least in play one time. Other than that, with no bans, I really can't tell you. We'd have to get an example of what's going on in game. There's so many strong DPS characters, so many strong tanks, supports. Oh, I mean, it's a toss-up what we're going to see today.
Yeah, I am ready for today's game, and honestly, I'm sorry to tell you this, Maddie, but I'm a filthy main. I want to see this May get played.
I'm sorry to tell you, but I'm actually a main as well, so I don't know if this is necessarily going to be liked by the audience after hearing that one. But either way, we hopefully will be seeing some May if we both enjoy watching it. And like so far, Light has teased us a little bit with the May lock for a second
The players don't have much to really tease us casters with, so we have to let them have their moments. There's not much that they can really do to make us angry or to annoy us. But we are going to start off on King's Row, the first map that we've ever seen in Overwatch, and a very fitting map to start out with.
Right, and I think one thing worth focusing on here, if you want to instantly get into the analysis of the game, is you need to look at what the defenders lock into. Is that's going to be something that probably won't be seeing as many changes as the attackers, right? Because they're sitting in their spawn, so they can go to any hero. But what the defenders lock in is probably what we're going to be seeing, and we do have Drip on the defense, and it looks like they're going to be running the May McCree comp. So pretty standard stuff we're seeing so far. This is the type of comp you'd expect to see in the tournament. And on the flip side, obviously, we're getting a bit of a tease here. We may not be quite sure what the attackers will be locking into, but it looks like Cratos is going to roll out on the Echo potentially. So that'll be interesting to see go down.
That is quite interesting. And like you said, Overwatch is a very, switch-heavy comp. You have to be able to, you have to be able to switch in order to start countering people up. So I do believe we're going to be seeing quite a bit. And we also are seeing the May on the side of defense. So we're at least seeing May once. So your prediction is right.
Yeah, actually make that 2 times. The Sir Gibson going to be locking that one up as well, trying to give us a bit of a tease from the Echo. One difference I want to highlight here is you're looking at a Brigitte versus an Ana, and I think that affects how fast the pace of the game has to be real big.
Yeah, Brigitte very... Oh, a great Maywell coming off from both sides as the fight begins. Light gets a pick off onto Sir. Great sleep onto the Reinhardt, and now the fight continues to draw close. With your tank and your main down, nothing's really going to be too much. You can't really do much to win the fight, and it's just going to be Cratos, you know, sweeping up the rest of the competition.
Yeah, I gotta credit that fight to the defenders there as well, not being afraid to take the initiative. Despite it being the first fight of the entire tournament, they're not letting that get to them. They're gonna play like they're on the attacking side, taking initiative with the Maywell and capitalizing on it.
Yeah, so coming up now, we do have Drip coming onto the right side, doing a little bit of a flank right there. Oop, got the jukes right there. Drip coming in and pulling up another Maywell. More damage coming out. It's really turning into a shield fight. You see a little bit of freezes get out there by a really aggressive tryhard right there, getting right up behind the shield. We did see a high noon out there, but canceled almost as soon as it came up. You can't really do much with that anyways. Ooh, you see Sir Gibson right there, zoned out by the Diva, or by Cyrus on Team Drip right there. Great plays right there. Again, really much of a stagger fight right now. Very tug of war-ish. Not seeing too much go down, but we're seeing a lot of picks come up as it seems like second by second we are seeing a comeback on the side, or not comeback, but contention on the side of Cratos trying, but Drip is getting their stance, and they're holding it pretty well actually, using that Brigitte's aggressiveness to their prowess and being able to continue the fight up a little bit. And that's it. Shatter comes in, that almost ends the fight. This is going to be Drip getting the point.
Yep, and I'm going to credit that fight to Sluggo's Brigitte, able to pop the rally, and they were able to group up in the backline as the fight did get very split there. You saw Sir Gibson kind of get knocked over to the side, and it looked like with all that split up team play coming through, Cratos wasn't going to be able to capitalize on the positioning that they had gained on the point. However, because of that rally, they were able to group up in one spot and fight back into their favor.
Yeah, ooh, a little bit of a botch may well come up there. Didn't get the Reinhardt like he wanted to. Tryhards really trying to get a nice wall out. Ooh, great nuke coming out right there. Sorry, great self-destruct coming out right there by Diva. Great positioning. It was really trying to get Team Cratos to push up, play a little bit more aggressive, but sadly they were a little bit too smart to fall for a trick like that. Now an aggressive play coming up from Drip, and I absolutely love to see this aggressive play. So now you're giving yourself more room to back up on, keeping one person on the cart, which I think they're keeping Sluggo on the cart. No, yeah, they're keeping Sluggo on the cart, making sure that the cart's still moving, but giving themselves a lot of room to back up right now. Ludicrous is coming up into the front line, gets nanoed, brings in the hammer, but Brigitte's gonna be like, okay guys, now we're gonna play aggressive. A great Blizzard coming in from Sir Gibson, completely negate anyone on cart, stop them from even thinking about contesting. Now that you got 2 people, 3 people down, you can start playing even more aggressive, and this is going to be Drip taking the second point. Great plays by both sides, but Drip coming up a little bit more.
Sir Gibson's Blizzard there that could not be matched by Tryhard on the May because the Blizzard was up for the blue side. Was able to throw out the Blizzard, and that gave them the positioning to pop the high noon, so Arexu was able to just get a free high noon out there and take down Light, and that was the pick needed to really steamroll into a fight win there for Cratos.
Absolutely great. Seems like Nox is playing a little bit aggressive. Wants to get this May off high ground a lot. Going to be able to fulfill his goal to get that May off, and now the next phase of this fight begins. This is the last point. 4 minutes on the clock. They have more than enough time to push this as far as they want, and there's definitely a chance that Cratos can come back. They can continue this stellar defense. Nano comes out, but it gets straight frozen right there. The break it down comes out. The fireworks are being popped. Oh! Kendrick gets the 3, man! Oh, the high noon is absolutely insane as we see Drip bring in the pain. The main freezes are coming out, but it doesn't matter. Micro is doing damage at the very least with those frozen targets. Trying to get a good stagger onto Cyrus right there. The cart continues. 3 minutes. Are they going to be able to make it? Yes, they are. The fight continues down, but honestly, that great positioning that Team Drip already has, they're already on the cart. They had the Blizzard on the cart. It's so close. 0.3 meters left as Drip just brings down the pain. Cratos really trying to find some kink in Drip's armor right now, but the drip is too much, and Cratos has to respect it. 3 minutes. That's a lot.
Yeah, Kratos, that was an insane push on their part, and I think what you can definitely credit that 3rd point capture to was that one fight we saw, a Rekuzu, a 3-man high noon, and that was huge because on the side of Drip you had the Blizzard, which was something that wasn't matched at the time. I believe Sluggo was like 90 to that as Tryhard threw that one out and was able to, I'm sorry, Sir Gibson, I believe, was the one on the May, and they were very close to their Blizzard there, but it was thrown out just in time by Tryhard, and it seemed like that was going to be a fight win off that Blizzard for Drip until Rekuzu with the clutch plays in the high noon, able to take down 3, and from there, you had the ultimate advantage. You had the Blizzard coming up online for the red side, and Kratos was just able to steamroll that into an overall map capture, but either way, it was a very clean attack there. They were not afraid to, press their advantage. Once they were able to get that first capture, you saw them steamroll into 2nd and 3rd, and very quickly, you barely saw the cart really get contested until really up until the end, and I'm hoping to see the same stuff from them on defense. Just because you're on defense does not mean you can't take the initiative and be aggressive. You have the Maywall. It's almost like a free pass, if you will. It allows you to bail out. But one thing worth mentioning here, look at this Torbjorn. This is not something that they played on their attacking round, obviously, as Torb's normally more of a defensive look, but still, a Rekuzu looking to make some noise with the turret, and that allows you to have, maybe damage coming in from 2 different angles, depending on where you place that turret. So something to keep your eye on.
Bro, it's basically like 7 players. It's a 7v6 right now with that Torb turret out, and it's gonna be painful.
Yeah, and depending on where you place it, it can even find a quick kill if, someone's struck out into the back and maybe doesn't have the help from their team, and, the Torb turret's in the right spot at the right time. That's really all it boils down to, those little things.
Yeah, we have a great Lucio push straight through that little room to the right. Almost as great Maywall right there, being able to capture off the Reinhardt, but sadly the May also gets caught into that Ludicrous, trying to deal some damage right now, but is going to be caught off guard by seriously everyone just deciding to focus up on him. That's going to leave Drip to decide to back up a little bit. Doesn't want to take too much of the, Kratos to back up a little bit. Doesn't want to take too much of that heat right now. They just want to get into their comfort zone and try one more time.
I love that adjustment from Kratos, though. They saw that Sir Gibson got split off because of that Maywall, and they were able to readjust by getting around it, getting the Reinhardt shield out in front of the May before that they were taken out. So Sir Gibson able to live. That allows them to keep building this Blizzard percentage. So we're looking at pretty much an even matchup in terms of the Mays here, but aggressive play, wow.
Oh, they try to continue the same play, but they got Pavlov dogged right there. May knew that was going to happen, set it up right there. They went for it because it would work the first time, and they just got denied.
This is the aggression I was talking about. You have the Brigitte. Don't be afraid to take it into them, and I love that. It's a change of what they did in last fight, Maybe after being able to just free push through Hotel last round, Drip was thinking, we can do that right away. We got away with it last fight, but no, Kratos changing up their playstyle with every fight, throwing curveballs. That's what wins these games, if you're looking at a Blizzard advantage because of that.
And this Blizzard advantage is going to be absolutely huge. Once you have the Blizzard, you basically could control the fight right there, cutting off the line of escape with that great Maywall from Sir Gibson. Now we're going to see almost all the ults get pushed. Light's going to take down 2 of Drip's most permanent DPS right now, taken straight out of the fight, leading to Drip having to back up, leaving the turret only there. Man, that has to be tough.
Yeah, the Blizzard committed there, almost winning that fight, but actually it seems like they're going to be pushing back in, so you might have to take it from me once again.
Yeah, ooh, coming in, trying to keep up the retake right there, wanting to contest the Self-Destruct comes in, gets down Ludicrous right there, and the Torb turret is doing exactly what we thought it was, just a pain in the side. It's nothing too big, it's just a thorn right there, meaning that we're going to have to see Kratos back up a little bit as Drip retakes it with 2 ticks. That hasn't hurt even more than losing the point.
Oh, for sure. But the MVP of that fight for sure was Aster. Able to use the bomb to clear space and split them up a little bit, right? You get back into that mech and you see, hey, we have some isolated targets to take down here. Aster jumped right on that. 2 picks for him. Really great way to come back into that one. And Kratos was able to stomp their way back into the point here. So Drip, they're now looking to push back in, and they're at a severe ultimate disadvantage. Kratos is looking at another Blizzard, and we might be in a 1-fight scenario, depending on how quickly this one goes.
Yeah, the Nano's gonna look pretty good. They're gonna go for the same plan. Ooh, the Maywall stops. The Maywall to stop the Maywall, I think, is the biggest brain play that you could possibly do. Ludicrous gets frozen. The anti comes out. Self-Destruct comes out as well. All the ults are being popped, but Drip is coming out on top. They were able to get the freeze on the Nano and Ryan, and it just not. Once you pop those 2 ultimates, you really had nothing else left to do. Great use of the Blizzard.
It's unfortunate if you're Drip there because there's not really much you can do when the Blizzard goes out like that and you don't have one to respond. And that's why we expected to see so much made today. That ultimate is so powerful with what the meta's looking like right now. Everyone bunched up, one big Blizzard, and you have yourself a team fight win. I'm not sure if Tryhard's going to be able to build a Blizzard of his own in order to help push this point along here. So it's going to come down to clutch plays.
Ooh, great wall by Tryhard right there. Stopping the enemy team from pushing, but also, a great wall by stopping him from backing up right there. Light's going to be able to get the Torbjorn out, which removes that thorn in the side from what we are talking about earlier. Light's also going to be able to take the Reinhardt out, Constantly going out, Sluggo coming out, and now it's looking a lot better for Cratos. They're almost there, finally capping the point and just sweeping up. Going to try to stagger this D.Va, and now they have to push a cart. 2 minutes, not too long, but they can still definitely even up the time.
Yeah, and what did I say? I said it would come down to clutch plays, and that's exactly what happened. You saw Light get the picks that they needed just to push themselves over that edge, and now you're looking at the Blizzard coming out here for the side of Drip. So as long as you can deny Sir Gibson that extra 20% he basically needs at this point to get his Blizzard, you might have a free fight win on your hands. But depending on how slow the poke phase is, maybe Sir Gibson's able to get that one up online in time, and you could be looking at a very close fight coming up.
Yeah, so I'm looking right now. We do want to see Drip come in to have a very nice, strong, hard attack, but with Aster having his I mean, look at this. Look at Aster right now. He's salivating right now. He wants to get that big self-destruct out. Maybe get it behind the team, get it at a nice angle. The Blizzard comes out. The self-destruct comes out. Doesn't get anyone, only gets the immortality field down, which is a little sad, but we do see the Torbjorn, Arkuzu doing a lot of work right now, pushing Drip out of the fight and right back into spawn.
I figured that's what they were waiting for. The Blizzards come out and the walls will go up as well. That means that the D.Va bomb is essentially free. Depending on where people are, they could be trapped between a rock and a hard place and have no choice but to just look up at the bomb as it blows up in their faces, basically. But we did see both Blizzards get used on that fight, so it'll be a race back to that one. And these Mays evenly matched in terms of ultimate percentage here. So it comes down to how the rest of the team will play. You do have the P-drop advantage on the side of Drip, as well as the Baptiste ultimate. I'm thinking this is the Drip's fight to take.
Oh yeah, it's definitely Drip's side to take. The ultimate advantage is hugely in the side of Drip, taking out the turret right there with the self-destruct, but ooh, maybe not so much, as Arkuzu and Sir Gibson are going to be able to take out the DPS right there. They are going to try to attest, but with the CC coming in from Arkuzu, Molten coring up the point, that's gonna stick really hard. You might have the ultimate advantage, but Molten core is just that good.
Yeah, the Rally and the Shatter able to deny that one. Cratos able to lock down despite the ultimate advantage that Drip posed coming into that fight. However, I think the late beat that was kind of in desperation might have been a big mistake, as if you think about it, you'd be having a free beat coming into this fight, as Micro's still only at 62% on that. So that could maybe make the difference here, as Drip, they're going to have to clutch up once again.
Yeah, it's gonna look a little bit hard. Ludicrous is just looking for an opening, but the main wall comes out absolutely great by Sir Gibson, getting the freeze off. Oh, sorry, but trying to be but Aster's gonna be able to get the double kill. That's what we're talking about. Self-destruct is so good. You're caught behind a rock in a hard place, or you just strip, don't expect it, and it's going to take you out. Tryhard's caught in between this Blizzard right now, with right in the middle of the entire team. As overtime ticks down, but Cratos is saying no, and that is going to be Cratos Esports with the first map win. Great job from both sides, but Cratos able to come out a tad bit farther.
Yeah, and the Divas on that round did such a great job of playing around the Mei, and I'm talking about both teams. I mean, the bombs going up at just perfect times to catch people. Asker, time and time again, was unloading these bombs coupled with Mei walls, Blizzards, and they were finding the picks needed to just win these fights, edge it over into Kratos' favor, and so that's probably why you're going to be seeing them take map 1, really. It's just good cohesion between teams. I mean, everyone looked to be on the same page there. The positioning was fantastic. You saw Maze get caught out, or other team members get caught out, and they were instantly on it, making up for it, making sure they stayed together, playing around the Brigida very well. And I think that's why we can credit this first map win to them, is the ability to play around a hero that, you know, with Rally has you all in a circle and has you going in. So the really good job on their part, just working together and, you know, getting it done there.
Yeah, it's almost it's so close to Deathball from the first season. It's just not there yet. It's so, you could almost call it Deathball, but it's just not. Anyway, on to this next map. We are going to be seeing Escort is going to be the next map. It is dependent on the loser of last round, which is to choose the map, and winner gets to choose side. So all we have to do is wait on a team. But what are some notable points that you saw on last game?
Yeah, so here's the thing I want to highlight. I don't think the teams are actually playing that differently. Very similar comps, very similar play style. Kind of the death ball thing, that's what you were talking about. But one thing I do want to highlight, the supports. That's what's different here. The Brigida on the side of Kratos was absolutely huge because they were playing the way that they should be playing around a Brigida, which was more aggressive. And it seemed like Drip was trying to have a bit of like a more positive or passive rather, kind of sit back and let the fight develop a little bit and then go aggressive when you need to. But with the Baptiste and the Ana, you are playing a bit slower, and I think Kratos is able to play around the Brigida and Lucio go aggressive. Despite having low healing, you're moving so quickly and putting so much damage out in such a short amount of time in your death ball that you're really maximizing, the comp as a whole. You have a bunch of HP pools, so taking damage early isn't too much of a worry, especially with the Mei cooldowns to bail you out of a lot of these things. So I just think Kratos is able, like their ability to just take it aggressive the way they have been, playing around the Brigida is the main difference here. So Drip, they have two options. They can either change up the playstyle a little bit more to maybe not be so aggressive, and play around the fact that they need to keep space from Kratos if they're going to try and play around like either it's big antis or the Baptiste cooldowns to come out, the immortality fields, because it is good, but I feel like a lot of the cooldowns from Ana and Baptiste right now are getting forced out early because of just the great aggressive play that Kratos is showing. So if you're Drip, it's either match or adapt, and that's how I feel about this one so far.
Yeah, definitely. So while you're talking about it earlier, so it's the aggressiveness. So if Drip could play that slower paced game, or they could support their team through an aggressive push, it would most definitely be going to Kratos. But they don't have that time because Kratos is playing so aggressive.
Yeah. And I think pacing is everything in Overwatch. And I mean, depending on the comps you have, obviously the pacing that you want to play at is different. Your optimal pacing, if you will. But I think that Drip's ability to back up maybe, play a bit more passive and wait for those cooldowns, especially from the Baptiste and the Ana to come through, could make the difference here. You're looking for a big ante. And if it's not working, then you might have to consider swapping to Mirror and, keeping the aggression you have had so far, because I think that will be the overall factor is how aggressive do these teams play. And I think it's all about taking the initiative, and even on the defensive side you take it to them. That's, you can't have any fear playing around the Mei like that, and it's working so far. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of transitions into a different map like Gibraltar.
And we are going to be, yeah, so Gibraltar is going to be our next map. We are going to be seeing Kratos on defense. So Drip is going to have to push this cart as far as they can, because if they can't win this, they're out.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much else to say other than do or die. But the only thing I can mention about Gibraltar is the amount of high ground that it offers, especially on the first and second point. This means that the comps we may be seeing could be a bit different. The Mei might be a bit more tricky to pull off, as you might be looking for something with a bit more range. Obviously, Mei does have her icicles, but if you're talking effective range, we're looking at Widowmaker, McCree, and obviously all these heroes are on the table because of the no ban rule we do have in place for this tournament. So that means that you could be seeing a lot of high ground play, which might be a different look for us here. Maybe dive, something that abuses the fact that they have the amount of space they need. So maybe even Drip sticks to the same playstyle they've been playing with the sitting back and kind of letting things develop with their Ana and Baptiste. That might work to their favor. This is a map that I think enables that a lot more than a map like Kings Row does.
Okay, so coming into this, so we are expecting to see, some more McCrees, some more Widowmakers, which I am definitely ready to see. I want to see those. Ever since we casted that sweet Widowmaker 1v1, I've been wanting to see a lot more Widowmakers. It's really like whet my appetite.
That's fair. For sure. And I think Widowmaker is a hero that we definitely see viable on this map. I mean, with the amount of spacing, like I talked about before, they sit in the back and kind of unload the damage needed. But for now, I don't see any Widow. Obviously, that could change for the attacking side, but it looks like a
Ooh.
different look. So this is what we're talking about, abusing the fact that you have that space. And I think an Echo is a great option. There's really no damage fall off for Echo, I mean, you have to get in close to capitalize with the beam, but still, the right clicks from range, followed up by the soldier damage they're going to be unloading. Rekuzu has showed pristine hit scan play so far. This is a very good look for Kratos. I like this look. On the
Yeah,
side of Drip, I don't know what they're going to be rolling out on the attack yet, but let's hope that it's something that could, match this comp and give us a good fight here on Gibraltar.
now looking at Drip's comp right now, it seems like they don't really have anything to deal with the Echo. I mean, once Echo's in the air, they might be able to hook her out, or they might be, or Simplistic might have absolutely god projectile aim.
Right, I think this comp is looking to take to the payload and just kind of hook their way through it, but actually it looks like a swap. So I think that's something they were just trying to get early to see if they could get a hook in from the bridge and maybe lock someone down, but they are going to be swapping to the dive look. So very similar pacing. However, something worth mentioning is we are seeing Brigida. So they want to protect the Zen in the back line, meaning Zen is the main focus of this comp. They want to keep the discords and dive, capitalize on that. So this comp, they all do synergize with each other. We are seeing early picks come in on the side of Kratos. I think that just boils down to having the high ground advantage to start.
Yeah, that was actually a really good push. I saw an absolutely great dive from Drip onto uh sorry, I saw a really great dive from Drip onto Aster right there, but nothing came out of it. The high ground was too much. They got a pick off onto the tanks, and now another pick off on the light right there as they try to dive in, but it was only the Winston Diva a little bit behind right there, and Drip is just out of proportion right now. Nox falls down. Look at Cirrus right now is going to get completely staggered by Echo right now, and that is going to be the second fight right there. They can't even push this cart past the little bridge.
Beautiful hold from Cratos, and I think we need to be seeing more of what we saw that fight, which is Sir Gibson not being afraid to take it aggressive onto the Zen. Brigitte isn't going to be able to cover the Zen if you're above the Zen, and that's what Echo gets to do. Get above, unload the damage you need to take out that Zen, because this entire comp that Drip is running right now relies on the Zenyatta. That's why they have the Brigitte there to protect the Zen, but it's not going to work if you're able to get above with Echo. So it'll be interesting to see if Sir Gibson can keep that one up.
We see Winston come out. We see Echo come in, decide to change into Winston right there, gets the Zenny to pop his Transcendence, which really was only used to save himself, couldn't help his team out that much, and now with light falling down, you don't have any more of that backline pressure on Drip. It's looking a lot harder. They haven't even pushed that cart an inch further. It's gonna get harder and harder the longer they have this go on, because to be honest, it's looking like Cratos has the ult advantage, and it seems like they're gonna be keeping the ult advantage for a long time.
Drip has to get off the Zenyatta. I don't think it's going to work here with the Echo that's just been able to unload damage. I mean, I talked about it, and then we instantly saw Gibson transform to jump onto it. It's just not working here, I don't think.
Yeah, Constant and Aster coming in. Look at them. They're just abusing the Zenyatta. Yes, we do see Echo come down, Sir Gibson and Tryhard come down to try to protect the Zenyatta, but it just doesn't happen. They're able to get the point though. We did see Aster come in there last second, try to keep that point from going, but it seems like we are gonna be seeing Drip finally get their foothold and take out at least one fight on Cratos.
Yeah, taking it aggressive into the back line with some of the ultimates that they had online, including the Echo ult, and an Echo mirror. I mean, this is something we haven't gotten to see much of, as this is a new hero. So it's interesting to see all these playstyles that are coming out and all these different adaptations that both of these teams are making. And I love the pressure that Gibson has been putting onto Simplistic so far. We are going to be looking at another Transcendence coming online, though.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how Simplistic right now is going to use it. We definitely see the Nano Monkey try to come up and deal with Simplistic, but it just doesn't happen. Gets denied by the entire team, and that's what I want to see. I want to see good peel as Ludacris comes in, takes down Constant, and now they're focusing down Aster, who just got D-Mech, because that beam on Echo is that powerful. As soon as you're half health, doesn't matter if you're support, DPS, tank, maybe have 1,000 HP, you're done. That Echo is going to end your entire career. And that great pressure play as well that we just saw come out from Drip right there kept Cratos on the edge, away from the cart, allowed them to push them. Yes, there were only a few people down on the side of Cratos, but just watching all the exits, stopping them right in their tracks right there. Perfect play from Cratos. We are going to see the rest of the Cratos team get mopped up.
Yeah, and now that we're on second point, moving into third, we're starting to see value from the Zen that I didn't think we were originally going to see, as it seemed like Cratos had his number, able to keep closing out on him and taking him down with each fight on first point. But now it looks like as we transition into second and third, the Zen's able to stay alive, so much so that it looks like Cratos wants to try the same thing, get the Zen Baptiste comp going. And so maybe this comes down to how much the Echoes can put pressure on the enemy Zen. We are going to be seeing pretty much a completely different comp coming out on the side of Cratos, and Orisa Sigma look. So just kind of looking to draw a line in the sand and lock down this payload. And you have 3 minutes, so you are going to need to stall this out a little bit, and that's what this comp is built to do, plus the Torb. But you are going to be seeing some counter swaps coming through for the side of Drip, so you'll be seeing the Orisa Sigma come out as a mirror, and a Hanzo as well. Coupled with Halts, Hanzo's Dragon can be deadly. Let's see how this pays out.
Yeah, so a little bit of a Sigma play. Aster on the high ground, hoping to, I'm going to assume, destroy Orisha's shield right there, but look at this Echo. This Echo is straight up bullying Aster right now. The Discord's on Aster. He has every single orb on him right now. Aster, oh, is gonna fall down. Straight up pressure right there. No one can help him out too much, and that is going to be micro down as well. Really good job, Sir Gibson, focusing down everyone on the high ground. They're taking them out one by one. Try hard, keeping the beam on the enemies right there. And it seemed futile at first, having an extremely hard time, but Drip is now bringing it back. I'm going to easy. This is a breeze pushing this cart the last few meters.
Yeah, that was a beautiful way to start the fight, too. You saw the Sigma get split off, and they were able to capitalize on the fact that he was just sitting high ground by himself. You can't be doing things like that against an Echo. They will close out on you with the Orisa hold as well.
Yeah, but now we have Cratos answering back. You can't bully us, they said. And now being able to retake the point, but that's 3.6 meters right there. It's going to be hard to keep this from ending up the bad way.
I think Drip wins this next fight here. You're looking at a Pulse Bomb only, so as long as Arekuzu doesn't do too much damage with that one, they have the Halt Dragon combo they've been looking for. The Transcendence is going to come online. That's going to give them enough time to build up that Sigma ultimate, capitalize on that. Couple that with the Baptiste ultimate, you're looking at a GG's. The cart is in a position to finish this one off quickly here, so Drip looking to do just that going into this fight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely great. We did see Hanzo come up there on the high ground, trying with light to get some nice plays. We do see the... can't remember what Bap's ultimate is called. I just call it the amp wall, but I don't believe that's what it's called. Sir Gibson and Constant are going to be able to do a lot of work right now. Our Kuzu decided to switch off of the... who was playing Kree beforehand onto a different hit scan. Now, oh, wow, great sweep.
Yeah, and I have to eat my words there. The ultimates were online for Drip. However, I have to give Cratos credit. They played so disciplined there, able to sit back. And honestly, Cratos was just waiting out these ultimates from Drip. You saw the Baptiste ult go up so early. They sit back. It's getting no value. Same thing with the Dragon. They were just able to avoid everything and just draw out the ultimates that would have probably been fight ending had they taken it aggressive into Cratos there, or into Drip rather. So good job there for sure.
Yeah, and if you look at the team comp on the side of Kratos right now, as the Torbjorn does fall down to a really well-placed Sigma ult. They are playing the idea of the comp. If we have our Torbjorn and Ashe ult, then technically it's an 8v6, and we should do perfectly fine. But Drip's not having this. They have their own 7v6 going on right now with that turret, forcing Slug-O to pop the Transcendence as they pop almost all of their ults right now. They pop the Molten Core onto the point, keep everyone off it, and it seems to be working very nicely for them. Overtime coming up, great job. But that's 2 meters away from the endpoint. Yes, you did hold it, but it's really only for the last point at the very last inch.
Yeah, and that will only matter if Cratos is able to push through these first 2 points to get us going here. So interesting to see how they maybe try and go into that. But one thing I want to talk about on that last fight is Cratos did a good job again of keeping that passive play. They have a comp that, feeds off of that. If you make them fight a battle on 2 fronts, you have cross angles coming through with your Zenyatta, your Sigma, you're able to unload damage. And it doesn't matter if one of the sides falls to the aggression of Drip, as not all of them were fully committed to going in there. You had some people sitting in the back because I believe the Zen was mirrored, so the Zen's still chilling in the back and stuff like that. It means that damage can come through from the side that's not being pressured, and by the end of it, they're able to collapse on cart. Ultimates that they built up from doing all that damage, such as the Torb ultimate, allowed them to lock down that space so that Drip wasn't able to, put a seal on what was a very good attack for them going into that one. So now they're looking to hold early here, as if you don't want Cratos getting into this 3rd point at all, as you obviously didn't finish the map. So if it starts to get down to it, you maybe could be losing the map because of that 0.2 meters you didn't quite manage to get. So we'll be looking at hopefully a very good defense here for Drip, for Drip if they want to stay in the series.
Yeah, so Drip's opting to play with the double, with very heavy healing, deciding to play for Ana and Mercy. I think that gives them the highest healing per second that you can get. Yeah, I would assume that that's the highest healing per second that you can get. Although we do see a more similar comp to last time, with Cratos opting to play opting to play Brigitte again, wanting those aggressive plays. But will that really help when they're on high ground?
I think it would actually pay off pretty well here, as you're going to see the Monkey Diva try and come in, and the Brigitte is just going to absolutely deny this. So assuming you sit with the Zenyatta, it's going to be very hard to push into the side of Drip here. Meaning that if you're Cratos, the objective, and you're already...
Yeah, so you already have that objective down. As we see the objective it's straight up pushed, continue to push. Arkuzu, who, by the way, got killed and then res, is able to take out Light. who now has to wait to respawn right now. Sir Gibson coming in, focusing down this Zenyatta. I mean, already halfway across the map, only trying to get this Zenyatta right now, keeping in the damage as the fight continues to come. Not caring about the point right now. All that matters is winning the team fight and then going down to the point. That's what they want to do. Micro again going for a risky res. Micro, you can't be playing like that. You're going to get caught off. Even if it's once, it's not worth it. I promise you. We do see Nox pop her ultimate, trying to just get the team up for a little bit, but that might be a mistake as now the ult advantage is on the side of Cratos right now, which is not going to be looking too good.
Yeah, after technical difficulties, I have returned. Apologies. But either way, we have the side of Drip building up those ultimates needed to maybe sustain here, but actually the fights are coming out early. We look like we're having a fight on our hands.
Yeah. Oh, the Nano comes out as well. The Imitation comes out as well. Trying to do whatever they possibly can. Constant going to be able to get light out. Cratos is having as much trouble pushing this cart as Drip was having pushing this cart last round. Shows you how hard this specific corner is. It's going to be extremely difficult. Arkuzu is going to just try and get res. Hopefully things are... Oh, but it gets taken out again with its next fight. Self-destruct coming in, hoping to clear out some area right there. Look at this Zenyatta playing in the open right now. A delicious snack if anyone wants to come in and get it, but the damage is too much. Drip is too good at defending this, and that is going to be Cratos wiped off the face per attack for now.
Yeah, in a fight that pretty much just broke out absolutely everywhere, but probably the most key thing to focus on is the use of the Echo ultimate to go into Winston there and take down Arekuzu before he can unload any more damage, meaning that the tactical visor advantage is on the side of Light, so space control is in favor of Drip here on this defense, and with a minute left, you may be looking at a full hold here, which is exactly what they need to lock this one down.
Yeah, the full hold really help them out right now. Even up a little bit. Discords are coming in. They're trying to dive. You can see Aster and Constant try to push up, but they're getting booped off every single time. That Brigida, like I said earlier, was an absolutely amazing choice on this point. They can't even think about diving without getting booped back and then bullied. As you can see, our Ekuzu right now getting bullied by Cyrus, going to get rezzed by Micro right now. And this push still isn't looking too good. 36 seconds on the clock, and they can't even get a support out. An invitation's gonna come out to get some more dive power by turning to Winston, going for Light right now, taking him out. Now you have to watch out. This trans is now just ending, not looking good for Zenyatta at all, as he gets straight up bullied by Echo right now, all the way in the back line. But is he going to be able to win this? At the very least, the point is getting pushed. We are seeing Drip being pushed back slowly. Simplistic wins that 1v1 we saw right there, and now he's gonna be back. It would have been absolutely amazing if Echo could have won that, but they're not going to be able to win that 1v1. Trying to pull up, keeping the fork down. It's hitting overtime. It's taking down. They're hoping to get it 2 meters. Oh, it's close as Drip comes in. Drip has enough kills to keep it up. Sir Gibson, the last one, contesting the cart. Constant coming in. They're just trying, going in one by one. Overtime ticking down. They're really trying. Oh, Hammond's now trying to get into there. Aster, hoping. Lucio comes in. They're all just, this is what we call the main stagger, but it doesn't matter. Drip able to even it up right there. You can't stagger the Drip, baby.
Yeah, once you try and come in all one by one against the Brigida, it's over. The Brigida's able to sit on the point. They're able to just unload that, that free whip shot and pretty much take you down one by one the same way you're coming in one by one. But really, I just have to credit that entire hold on the side of Drip to the comps. I think the Brigida pick is paying off dividends. We saw it work for Cratos on King's Row. Now we are seeing it pay off for Drip on Gibraltar. These teams are doing a very good job of playing around Brigida, which is not a hero we would probably expect to see coming in into this match here. But either way, I think seeing the Brigida pay off this much, you have to question, do these teams both elect to play that Brig going into the next match? Because really, you were not able to get in on Drip's defense at all, because if you tried to dive up there, the Brig was denying that space, building up rally, hitting those shots, the whip shots, and anything needed, providing armor packs, literally everything Brig does. And if you tried to get above the Brigida with the Echo, you were just going to get melted down by the Soldier 76 that's sitting in the back, basically waiting for you. So I just think that comp does such a good job of protecting itself that you really need more of a death ball that makes it so that they have to almost push onto you if you sit on the cart. And so I think that was the change that Kratos needed to make, and we didn't see that one happen.
Yeah. And I just want to thank Sparkle Muffin for the tier 1 sub that they just gave us. I see you in chat. Don't act like I'm not watching chat right now.
We always appreciate those subs, anything that helps us build the community. But yeah, either way, good first 2 maps, and we're looking at a tied game, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to be heading into Control next, I believe, and that could mean many different things depending on what map we're looking at. We've seen so many different comps, and I love that the variety we were able to see because of a map like Gibraltar. We got to see how these teams play in different scenarios, and that may be why we have a 1-1 scoreline. Maybe Drip is now starting to figure out how they need to play. They obviously have the momentum of just coming off that map win. Let's see how it goes on map 3.
Yeah, and we are going to be on Nepal, which is... Nepal is like one of my least favorite control maps. I like to call them King of the Hill because that's more what they are. In fact, I honestly sort of don't like control maps.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about control maps here is it's going to be just like King's Row was, I think, where it's going to come down to very fast play, especially on a map like Nepal. You have Village, you have Shrine. Those are maps that normally involve going very aggressive into the other team. And so I'm going to bring it back to this hero. This seems to be the narrative of this entire match, is the Brigida. When teams are playing this in this match, they've been playing so well. I mean, if you play around the Brig and play as aggressive as they want to play, it seems both teams seem to be aggressive teams. Brigida enables that. I think if you're able to live using Brig Lucio, you're going to see a lot more fights go your favor. We have been seeing a lot more Zen than I would expect too. However, I wouldn't expect that on a map like Nepal just because, again, we're talking close quarters. Again, it's going to be very hard to pull that off. Zen's very much a character that feeds off of the spacing that maybe a map like Gibraltar offers. So if you're looking at the death ball comps that going into each other, that's what I'd expect to see here. The one map that we always talk about coming into this one, though, is Sanctum. You have the big pit in the middle. That means a lot of opportunities for boops, and here's my prediction for that. I think we're going to be seeing either Orisa Hog or Orisa Sigma, but I think Orisa will be the hero we probably end up seeing on that map just because of the pulls and the ability to kind of lock down an area and make sure you stay alive. I think it's a very good hero to play out of the tunnel by the point in as well, but Sanctum is kind of the weird map we're going to be looking at, but I think the other two will be very consistent in that you'll be seeing more of the May death ball looks.
Whoa. Oh yeah. Sorry, Shape just gifted like 7 subs, which is thanks, Mama Shape. Seems like we are not going to be getting Sanctum in the first part of the map, but that is okay. And I just want to talk about this, Maddie. You know, this is like my dream come true, right? Having aggressive plays finally, because like I am one that believes that the S key should just be unbinded from the entire keyboard. Like when you play Overwatch, just remove the S key. Don't even have it bound to like you have it bound to like an emote or something like that. So if you do press S key, you know you're just punished for it. And the Brigida really allows for that W key play. I want maximum W presses in any game.
Absolutely, and I think that's exactly what you're going to be seeing with these death ball comps coming out. And actually, if they decide to stick with this, Drip is giving us a different look here for a map like Shrine that I normally anticipate. You have the Orisa Doomfist Reaper. This is almost looking like a bit of an old meta if you want to flash back a little bit to kind of our grand finals of Overwatch League, I believe 2019 season's, championship, that whole run. You're kind of looking at that here as Doomfist Reaper will be the comp, but on the flip side, you're seeing the Brigida, the Reinhardt, the Death Ball that we'd normally expect with a Hog and a Tracer. These comps are interesting. I'm not honestly sure what's going to go down here.
Yeah, we are seeing the first fight take up Light on Reaper, hoping to get some massive damage, maybe hoping to stop those evil tank players from taking up all of his space right there. Pretty interesting choice. I wonder how it'll work out, but the Hog hook comes out. Was that a 1.0 hook I saw right there? Ooh, that must have been close to at least like a tad bit of a 1.0 hook right now. Aster just trying to be an annoyance. Hooking anyone is basically going to... You're really only playing for the picks. Let's be honest. You want to get that pick? Oh, right there! Right there, that's what you saw. You pick up on the Nox right there, hook him up, bring him in, shoot, kill Nox with one foul swoop, and now you have the rest of the team. They're down 1, they don't have any healers, and now they just get mobbed up.
I think you know what I'm about to say. I think you could tell what I would credit that fight win to. It's going to be the Hog. Aster flanking making that work, finding the hooks. And originally I was going to say, I don't know if I like it in this comp. You're playing up against double shield. However, it seems like Aster's able to get behind the way they need to. So if you're Drip, you need to stop letting that happen. You got to lock that down early. If the Hog is going to keep getting behind you like that, there's no way you're going to be able to establish point presence. And it seems if you can deny the Hog, you're probably going to end up winning these fights. They do have the better comp to do just that.
Ooh, but Simplistic is going to take down Constant, which I really wouldn't have expected. Well, that doesn't matter though. That seriously doesn't matter though. As they pop, I'd say a good 2 or 3 ults. They pop their visor from Soldier. They pop the beam of death from Sluggo, straight up keeping everyone alive, dealing massive amounts of damage, and ending that fight right there. The only chance that Drip had taking that, just gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just a niche comp paying off still, as since you came out with a weird comp on first fight and you were able to win, it meant that you had the ultimates going into second fight. I think this is the fight that you're going to be seeing, you know, the adaptions, the better swaps kind of win this out. You're seeing the Doomfist swap go away, as you don't want to necessarily risk going in so deep with a Hog that can punish that. However, Aster, in a weird angle, yeah, looking for a hook here.
Look at Gibson. Gibson is on higher. Oh, Reaper's coming up to kill him. Oh, it was a double flank. The Soldier flanked onto the Ana, and then the Reaper flanked onto the Soldier. absolutely hilarious plays coming out right there. But now we no longer see the flanking Aster. Aster now playing more with this team. Sigma ult comes out, brings everybody up. That's gonna take Constant out of the fight as it continues to roll. We do see 90%. This can go either way right now. Yes, we do see Drip has some more presence on the now it's gonna go to Drip right now, but really we really want to see some contention. 94%, that's still a whole lot of percentage.
Oh yeah, and I think that's just a niche comp paying dividends. However, it's about what happens now on the niche comps, and this is why I'm not necessarily a big fan of them, is now you're looking to push back into this with a comp that may not be the ideal choice here, as you've seen Drip make the adaptations they need while also sticking to the standard meta. There's a reason why the meta's meta. It's working, and it's working well. You're seeing Light already making the meta look very good, as able to get a pick on a Sir Gibson there, and I don't know, I don't...
Oh, Light! Oh, Light almost went for it. Oh, is he deciding to go for it? Nah, almost gets moved off by the whole hug coming in from Aster right there. Micro's antied right now, going down pretty low, but nothing's gonna come too much out of that. That was scary right there. I swear to God, saw Light, saw Sir Gibson. I knew that was gonna happen. I was like, Sir Gibson, no, don't do it. Oh, it's gotta hurt. But we do have Bongos coming out from Ludacris right now. Bongos gets. I did not even see Bongos. I saw Bongos got popped. I did not see anything happen to that at all. But
man.
Light's gonna say otherwise. I can see Light's ultimate and knock it shredded down.
Yeah, no, that was a beautiful boop there. I actually want to credit that to Nox, as you forced them all to move up, meaning that what are they naturally going to do? They're going to press S. And Light, he was sitting in the back waiting for it. I'm not sure if that was a planned, coordinated thing, but it was just because of that boop dispositioning them a little bit, it was almost able to give Light that foresight to know where they're going to go. They're going to back up, and he was able to capitalize on that and flip that fight.
Yeah, they're backing up. They're doing a last-minute switch off. It seems to be working. They're able to get a pick up, but Micro's going to fall down on the back end. They're playing extremely fast comps. They're hopefully not going to try to spin to win. Come on, Aster. Don't do it to me. Aster's going to try to spin to win right now. Going in the back line now, dealing some damage. I mean, that's what Hammond's all about, really. Trying to get that contest. Just be a general annoyance to seriously everybody. Sir Gibson is trying to just his best just to freeze people up, but Light is bringing in the pain right now. 94%. Technically, that's an A, but you have your friend over there, Drip, getting an A+.
Yeah, and I gotta give credit, absolutely all credit there to Light and the two supports on the side of Drip. They were able to stay alive, and they didn't have the tanks to do that, and they also had a Coalescence on them, also being dispositioned by a Hammond. Somehow they're able to just all stay together. I think you can credit that to the Lucio speed as well, able to dodge a lot of things too, so that's where I kind of give Nox credit for being in the fight there. And then you had just the help from Simplistic on the Moira to just keep Light going, so that Light was able to get the pick on the Gibson, and that's really what allowed everything to flip, was once you lost that May, they were able to kind of flip things on their head. But we might be looking at a pause here.
Ooh, yep. We are requesting a pause, and I'm just gonna say something that, unless we're not gonna get one,
not quite.
Okay, I guess there is no pause. Yeah, never mind. So apparently we're not getting a pause. Okay, a little bit weird. Our Kuzu is going to be playing a Reaper. I was gonna ask a question about why like what they were hoping you would do on Symmetra, but obviously that was just him making me feel bad about my knowledge of the game. Great walls coming up from both sides. It's just a
Guys aren't
huge
paused.
area that they got pushed in. You know, look how small you have to move. You have like a 2 meter squared area about which you can move right there. The game is paused. There was a little bit of a off caught. We thought we needed to pause. We didn't pause, and then we paused because we were told to pause.
Just confusion, just general miscommunication. It happens. We're not perfect, human beings, whatever. Either way, let's talk about this fight in a second here that's about to go down because there's madness on the point, and I think the Reaper comp's going to pay off big here, but we're going to look at that on pause, so let's go.
Come on, look at this. Arcusa, oh, he actually got flashed right there. Nothing too much. Immortality shield comes out, immediately gets taken out. The damage is being brought out. That Reaper comp, we were expecting it to work right there, but just gets completely bullied. Yeah, you can play Reaper, but what are you gonna do when everyone just decides to focus you down, including the Moira ult right there? It's just not looking too good. Cratos is doing an amazing job holding this right now. Simplistic is going to do amplification matrix right there, hoping to get some extra damage or healing. He can go either way right now. As they slowly take the point, we are going to be seeing Sir Gibson and Aster try to contest the point. The good old Mei D.Va with the stupid amount of self-sustain you have on Mei, and this stupid amount, you're basically 2 life on D.Va right there, along with the Blizzard into the Shatter. It's just not looking too good. Great use of ultimate on the side of Kratos though.
Yeah, and I think the reason why you have to give that credit to the Mei Reaper comp, even though we saw Reaper go down early, it's the ability to push into them as hard as you want to with the Reaper as opposed to McCree, who needs time to set up sightlines. And it's like the trend for Drip. They love playing those comps. They get to kind of sit back, and while they can get aggressive, they almost want to abuse the fact that they're patient. However, you are seeing the Orisa come through here for Lucid. So maybe they are looking to really establish the fact that, hey, we're not playing as aggressive as Kratos is going to here, and we need to take advantage of that.
Ooh, and that was actually a real... I did not know you could break it down when you were in the sky like that. That is interesting. We do see the heals come out from both sides, but the Sigma into the Blizzard is just a little bit too good with Kratos falling down. They do have 80% though. That is a huge amount, and they didn't die too much, so they didn't feed the enemy team too many ults.
No, they didn't there, but that fight broke out so early, and I just think that fight just came around to general Mei walls, and Mei play in general is something to focus on for this fight as well, because you're seeing Sir Gibson 80% to this Blizzard, meaning that if they can get on the point and establish that positioning they had to start things, they're going to be able to use that Blizzard way sooner and probably win the fight off of that. However, a late swap here, actually on the Reaper, trying to get back into this one.
Oh, he does have Death Blossom in right there, taking down Immortality Field. That's 3 picks already. They also do have the Blizzard to steady things up right now, but we are seeing Drip bring an end to it. 2 picks, but Sir Gibson is bringing it back. The pain. They're only 3 on each side, trying to hunt down each and every person right now. It's not coming down. Gibson absolutely destroying the enemy team. Blizzard comes down. Really, I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it was good or not. All that mattered was it got the enemy team off the point.
It didn't matter how well Drip played that fight, honestly. I mean, Mei ultimate on Village, it's basically just a GG's there. So unless they're able to push back into this one quickly, we might be looking at map 2 of Nepal going over to the side of Drip.
Oh, look at this sneaky Lucio. Look at this sneaky Lucio. It tries to do anything. We had the Moira ultimate come out. We have break it down. Try to come in and bring up some aggressive plays, but we just don't see Drip play too aggressive into this, other than right now to where their Blizzard saves the game right there. But that was a Blizzard that wasn't they didn't really capitalize off the break it down.
Yeah, but now you're looking at both tank ultimates online for the side of Drip. They're going to be having the Orisa Bongo, coupled that with the Sigma ultimate, and you are unloading a bunch of damage. And one interesting compositional swap they've made is they actually decided to get off the Baptiste, and that might be now that they don't have the McCree, they want to get as close range with their healings as they are with their damage. But either way, initiative taken here.
Ooh, the Sigma ult comes in, absolutely great placement right there. Ludicrous. He does have the Bongos, hoping to damage amp someone in his general vicinity. Great placement too, right behind the shield, hoping to body block some damage if it comes in, but that's not going to be needed. Look at those tendrils of damage coming up, completely obliterating them. You cannot have the point. Kratos, you cannot have the point.
There was just no chance of them getting back into that one. Just the amount of damage coming through for that Coalescence, and their only hope now is to be able to get back to the point with their support ultimates that they'll have online, that Drip will not have online, and that's really what's going to boil down to. The race to Blizzard is also on the side of Sir Gibson, so let's see how this plays out.
Oh my god, this more ultimate. You see Sluggo? Sluggo is going to have ultimate. Sluggo and Simplistic are going to have their ultimate every single fight. Doesn't matter. That is how fast Moira can build her ultimate.
Oh, beautiful wall.
Oh, yeah, honestly, that was actually really good. I need to take a second to appreciate that. Oh, Brian, a second to appreciate Light coming in with the triple kill Death Blossom right there, saving the point, ending it. It's not over yet. We definitely still have that annoying little Hammond come up there, hoping to do a spin to win comp, but you have the mate freezing you. It's not going to work out right there. Overtime ticking down, and that is going to be Drip winning the series. Great job to both teams, but Drip came up the little bit more.
Yeah, that just, I think, came down to losing their Rhine so early, trying to force your way back into that one. If you're Kratos, you really couldn't do much from that. However, it seemed like for a second, oh, they might have a chance, right? They got the May wall in there that I thought was beautiful. It split off so many people, and they were able to capitalize on it with the Blossom. And for a second, you thought, okay, we might be looking at what we expected here, maybe potentially pushing back into that one and flipping it, but unfortunately, just the mechanical plays coming through here for the Reapers, able to use that Blossom and, flip that one back on the side of Drip. They just win the overall.
Yeah, absolutely great plays. Happy to see both teams. Drip will actually no. Drip will might not be moving on. It is pool play, so pool. Maddie, why don't you explain to everyone how pool play works? Just to just so everyone knows that Kratos is not out of the fight yet.
Yeah, no problem. And I won't only just explain it, I'll also explain it in terms of what this match means for it. Obviously, Drip having won against Kratos means that they're going to be 1-0, Kratos 0-1. However, that does matter as you're looking at pool play here, like Byte said. So we got 4 teams in the pool, meaning that Kratos is going to go up against 2 different teams, and so is Drip. They're both going to be playing the same 2 teams, essentially. And, if Drip loses a match and Kratos wins it, then we're looking at them both being tied in record once again. So, I mean, it's not over for either of these teams for sure. Drip, there's a lot of work left to be done in Kratos. There's a path of redemption to come back here in this pool play, but going down 0-1 early, it might not be great for the momentum. So it'll be interesting to see how Kratos flips it in the rest of our tournament. So definitely keep your eyes open for that. But either way, how pool play works, for those of you wondering generally, is you have 4 teams. In our case, anyways, 4 teams are in one pool, and there are 6 pools total right now. So 24 teams total in the entire tournament, and basically what we're saying here is that 4 teams in each pool means that there's going to be a lot of teams that wouldn't even see each other unless they actually advance to the bracket play of 8 teams going up into our finals, those type of matches. So basically what it's all about is having the best record in your pool. You play everyone in your pool, so you're going to be playing up against, for example, Drip's playing Kratos, and then they'll play the other 2 people in their pool as well, and whoever comes out with the best record will move on. Now you're probably wondering, Maddie, there are 6 pools, so if you go on and have 6 teams in your final bracket, how's that work, right? Who would get a bye? We're also going to be picking from the next best record, depending on who moves on. It's almost like wild card, how that works in football. If you have the next best records, will basically be randomly picking who those 2 teams that will be joining Drip or whoever moves on in that 8 bracket type format. You'll basically be picking the teams to join them from the basically 2 wild card spots, if you will. Probably poorly explained, but it's hard to explain pool play that quickly, so I'm sorry about that. Bear with me.
And that is going to be it for now. We do have another game coming up right after this. It'll be casted by Paul and Maddie, who are 2 great casters. I am Bite Me. This is the end of not today's game, but this is the end of this game, Kratos versus Drip. Drip coming out on top. Great plays by both, and I have to say I loved every little second of May. Maddie, do you have any finishing words until we move on to the next game?
I don't have anything else to say other than let's keep it going, because that was a great first match in this tournament. We saw very good play, and we didn't get to see Sanctum on Nepal, unfortunately, but either way, we did see it go to that map 3, so definitely looking to see more of that as we go into the tournament. These teams are evenly matched, and I'm sure so many teams in this tournament will be. We have some great matches ahead.
And welcome back for more action here at the Outbreak Tournament. I am Paul alongside Maddie, who you heard in the last round, and we're getting ready here for Old Man Strength versus the Dojo. And Maddie, catch us up to speed on what happened last round.
Yeah, and I hope you didn't miss me, guys. As Drip was able to take down. Sorry, wait, what was the name of that team? Yeah, catch me up. I'm already moved on to this match.
Say where are we at? We're flying at breakneck speed here.
Yeah, exactly. We got Kratos.
Kratos.
So we were able to take down Kratos. Apologies. I already thrown away my that bracket to pull up this one here as we have Old Man Strength taking on the Dojo. So a different look for us here. Two different teams, but the same map that we started on with our last round. So maybe something worth mentioning. But one thing I do want to mention is we're looking at a 1-0 record for both these teams in their pool. So an interesting match. I mean, both these teams on the up and up, and one of them has to go down here.
Right, and so that's the interesting thing too with this pool format. Each team's only playing 3 times. And we talked about this sort of offline before we got started. You don't have time to find a rhythm necessarily. You've got to come in hot, and you can't really go stale halfway through because there's not really a halfway through. It's you start and stop, and you got to be hot the whole way.
Exactly, and with the best of 3 format that we're playing in as well, it's almost pretty much critical that you take an early advantage, and that involves being ready to go once this round gets going. So hopefully these teams have had plenty of time to prep, and already what I'm seeing, and subject to change due to the idea that the attackers do get to swap it, whatever. But it seems like Widowmaker is coming out on the side of, I believe, the Dojo. So yeah, I mean, expect anything here. It might just be, an effort to get a spawn pick, but already seeing some variety here. But the one consistent thing I think we're seeing is the Mei, something I talked about before the tournament. I think we'll be seeing a lot of, and Boat already showing us that right now on this defense.
Right, and I think we're gonna have to see some variety. I mean, these teams have certainly played each other a whole lot coming into these sorts of events, and so I think they're gonna have to mix things up and really surprise people while also staying true to their strengths. So they're dancing a delicate balance here, as we get ready here to start the action. We're gonna see Old Man Strength is on defense here, so Old Man Strength in the blue. So the Dojo gonna move quickly on the point here. Economy's rolling right through, looking for some early picks. A massive anti's gonna set them back just a bit. Ramy's gonna be first one taken down, so they're gonna Lucio trade out of the gate here. Prodigy popping off to start, gonna find 2 picks. Gonna be taken down there by Giroux in the crossfire, so they're gonna have to back out of the arch. And it looks like they're already gonna have to seed point.
Yeah, it was a beautiful anti-nade coming out on the side of Old Man Strength, but still Prodigy able to get into the back line and capitalize on the fact that they were so focused on going into the front line. They forgot to turn around, I guess, as the Doomfist sneaks in there, finds 2 picks, and really that's all it takes. It doesn't matter if you're antied or whatnot. If you're up against, 2 less members, there's a lot less pressure on you despite the anti, so that fight able to go on the side of the Dojo.
And we'll have to keep our eye on Prodigy. Prodigy, who I've had the privilege to cast in other events, an excellent DPS on the Doomfist. So we do see from OMS, we're going to see, we see a McCree, we see a Brigida, so there is some CC in place, but it might not quite be enough for someone like Prodigy who just knows how to find their way into the backline.
Yeah, but speaking of the backline, Berserkly sneaking in there a little bit there, trying to put some damage out before the fight gets going.
A lot of damage here out of the gate. Economy getting the first one taken out, so the main tank is going to be gone. They're going to be able to hold this corner here. I hear Prodigy looking to drop in and go right into the fray here. Boat and Prodigy going to be taken out. Shatter, massive, going to find 3. Train Cloud going to begin to clean things up. Looks like Samaritan doesn't have a whole lot of charge, so they're going to have to back out, as is Ramy, and they'll have to reset.
Yeah, and looking at the next fight, you already see the Brigida ultimate coming online, which is very impressive considering that was a swap that they had just made after losing the point. So definitely seeing some aggression in that case. In order to build that ultimate, you have to be either taking a lot of damage or outputting a lot of damage. And after winning a fight that convincingly, it seems like outputting a lot of damage. It was the latter.
So we're going to see Economy rolling in here. Not a lot of ults available yet, but just about to be made available. Prodigy's going to be the first one taken down on the Mei. Had swapped in between fights there. So we're going to see 2 Lucio ults come out. They're going to dance around those. High Noon is out, so we're going to see Hazard walking up. Going to find Ramy in it. They're going to be pulled into a grab here. Not even able to really swing into it. Hazard finds 2, so they're dropping down quickly here. Prodigy still working his way back from spawn, so we're going to see him coming around the corner. They've got the cart still rolling.
Yeah, that was a beautiful cover too, because you saw Giroux get pinned, but the stun from Madero able to cancel that one out and keep Giroux up, meaning that they were able to kite out and now go back into aggressive mode.
Massive shatter in the side lane. Economy finds 3 with that. Boat's gonna find 1, but they're gonna effectively ace them here.
Yeah, quick fight there, but really it was just because they were trying to force their way back into that one after backing up on the side of Old Man Strength. But either way, this is something that we didn't see in our last match. Two Brigs being played at the same time, basically. I mean, we barely got to see that, and now we're seeing it, and I think that's why you're looking at such an evenly matched game. But either way, Prodigy will be having that Blizzard for this fight after swapping off the Doomfist. Boat will not be, so it's probably going to just come down to the Blizzard on this fight.
So the Dojo getting this thing really close. They might have missed opportunity here, but Train Cloud going to find the Ether on Prodigy's Blizzard there, so that's going to be a huge change in the momentum here. Not able to get that. Train Cloud finds Prodigy instead, so Train Cloud sort of being a thorn in his side at this point. Berserker going to find a kill. He's going to go down for it. In the meantime, Old Man Strength, meanwhile, finally able to sort of stabilize the cart here. Pin's going to go back and forth. Economy's not going to land. The CC continues to come out. We're going to see another bomb up in the air. Is it going to find any? It does. Raymond's going to be taken down. They're going to continue to move out. Giroux finds the pin onto Economy here. He's in trouble. He's going to be taken out. And it looks like they're going to have to go back with 2.5 minutes on the clock.
MVP of that fight going over to Train Cloud, eating up the Blizzard, which was the win condition for Prodigy and the rest of Dojo. And really, once that happened, there was not much that Dojo could do. They based their entire strategy going into that fight around that Blizzard. They were caught in a bad spot, and they were capitalized on that fact by the Diva Bomb that came out, caught out Rami. Just great picks coming through and great team play overall.
And some great staggers on the back end of that. So we see Prodigy just taken out. Berserker gonna be taken out as well. So getting a little bit sloppy here on the, on the heels of this next fight. So we just said, 2:30 was when that fight ended. They're not even gonna touch cart basically for another minute after that if they're lucky. So really great positioning here to force the staggers.
Yeah, and unless we're seeing big tank ultimates come out on the side of the Dojo, this is probably going to be a very advantageous fight for Old Man Strength. They have the Blizzard online, the Rally, they have a lot of ultimates here, so if you're on the side of the Dojo, you need to use this Grab Shatter effectively.
So we'll look to see how they use that here. The Blizzard is available. We're gonna see a Shatter finding all 5. Berserky's gonna look for some kills, able to pick up 3. Drew's gonna go down as well, and that's an immediate ace, and you called it there, Maddie. The Shatter mattered.
Yeah, that's all it came down to, was able to use those tank ultimates effectively and quickly before the time for Blizzard was basically given, and that means now that Prodigy might have a chance to build up a Blizzard of his own, so we're looking at an even fight between the Mays. But as I say that, things changing up here as Hazard going over to the Echo for third point.
Very interesting pick, so I haven't seen a ton of Echo in a lot of the games that we've been watching here. Swapping on the third point can be able to control that high ground, maybe putting some damage as we're seeing getting effectively a flacer, a tracer flanker damage from the front. Economy going to be frozen there, taken down. So no main tank is really going to set them back here as they look to put Hazard's going to be in the air, really laying in damage from all different angles. No shield to stop that, but we're going to see a Blizzard come out on the back line. That's going to be 2 caught in it. Both tanks. Diva gets booped down in the hole, so Train Cloud and Giroux going to be taken out immediately, and they've got some momentum here.
Yeah, despite the swap coming through for Hazard, not enough to edge that one out. And I was, for a second there, worried that Berserky really wouldn't have anyone to go into now, as you're swapping to a character that can kind of get the air advantage over him. And really, other than like the very fast backline at the time and the Lucio Brig, there really wasn't anyone to lock down. But Berserky able to find the picks anyway, and that can be credited to very good team play there.
So the Dojo getting it pretty far. They only have a minute and a half left to work with here. Find Hazard. They have a beat drop coming in. Berserky's going to pick up another kill. They're living and dying off the ults, the Shatter and the Reaper ult. They're going to continue to push. Death Blossom was absolutely huge there. Prodigy takes out Train Cloud. Madeira's going to be taken down. And
good stun.
Yeah, just a little bit of a stall here too. Giroux, beautiful wall there to keep Giroux off the point. Another pin to put him in the back, and that'll be 3 points.
Yeah, and I think this just has to boil down to the DPS play of the side of Dojo. You already mentioned it off the start. You had the privilege of casting a player like Prodigy. Well, I think we both right now are getting the privilege to cast a player like Berserky too. I mean, these DPS have been tearing it up. The May play for Prodigy and even the Doomfist back on point A, if you can remember that far back, was pristine. You're seeing very good Reaper play as well. Berserky able to make that work despite some counter swaps coming through, such as the Echo from Hazard. And so really good job all around on the Dojo too. Not just the DPS, but the tanks able to enable that. I mean, we saw fights where the tanks were able to win fights outright with good grabs, good shatters, stuff like that. So the Dojo all around, good ultimate usage and really effective job working around their DPS who have been popping off thus far. And I believe we'll be seeing. Oh, you're here. Okay.
Yep, we're gonna see a brief pause here. Just I want to make sure that they having a communication issue when the players, their Discord died on them, so we want to make sure they can communicate effectively. So we're gonna give them just a second here to get that together. At this that we have. We just want to say thank you for tuning in to the Outbreak tournament. You're watching the pools, so these are best of threes. We have this match, and then we'll have one more following. So that'll probably be about, depending on when this one's finished, 9:15. And then tomorrow we'll be back 4 p.m. with the quarterfinals, and then the semifinals at 6 and 8 p.m. respectively. Those times should be a little quicker. I mean, they're best of fives, but they're going to be spaced out a little bit better in that respect. And then Sunday, you'll be able to catch us back here at 6:30 Eastern for a pregame show, followed by the grand finals at 7 p.m., where we will have our grand final matchup, best of 7, race to 4. And we will also award the finals MVP, brought to you by Careless Coaching. And so it looks like we're going to be about ready to return to the action here. So have couple of hats on today, putting on the caster hat, the TO hat, and now the unpausing hat. So as we dive back, I just want to touch on too. And one thing you said, Maddie, was, like you said, it's been really superb DPS play from Berserky, and when those tank ults mattered, I mean, Economy was absolutely coming through, and Train Cloud, absolutely no slouch. Those eats and some of those kills on the back line, have been absolutely instrumental.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's been good play all around from really both sides so far. I mean, Train Cloud has been doing a lot of work on the off tank, like you said, and a very good job denying some of the space that would normally be taken for free by a team of the dojo's caliber. So there's definitely, they're putting a stop to the things that the dojo are trying to get done here. But I just think there needs to be a bit more changes to come through here, because you have to stop these DPS. They're going to town, and depending on what comp they're playing, you have to adapt accordingly. So let's see how this McCree may look, works out for him.
Lots of CC here. Madero's going to come out on the Brigida, falling on the Lucio. So they're looking to get in there and get Brawly. Meanwhile, they're against a comp that likewise wants to do that. Nifikins on the Brigida. Prodigy, we're going to see on the May with Berserky again. Coming back with the Reaper Part 2. Giroux in a little bit of an issue here. What a beautiful pin here. Fallon's going to find Prodigy. So they're going to get some initial trading here. Put a dent in the brawl. Samaritan's falling a little bit low, but for the most part, everyone's keeping up. Samaritan's going to be popped out of mech here. No mech to be had. Economy's going to be taken down, so both tanks are out, and they're looking to push. Old Man Strength has something going. Nothing going to be found on the Deadeye, basically using it as a pine reload effectively there. Samaritan got back in the mech, but not for long, going to be taken out, and it looks like they're just clean up point.
Yeah, the dojo wasn't able to capitalize on it, but I still want to talk about this play because it was amazing. You saw Berserky drop in from the back on the Reaper and trying to put pressure on Giroux. So Giroux, he's trying to swing at it, right? The minute he does, it's perfectly timed with the pin. Economy coming right in, smashing him up against the wall, and unfortunately there wasn't a finish there. However, had there been, it would have been an easy fight win for sure, as they had the momentum going in with that Ryan pin and stuff. But either way, the good response coming out from Old Man Strength, so now they will have the point to show for it.
And we'll highlight here, Berserky swapping to the Hanzo down the alley here. So we're going to be watching slightly different ult economies at this point. Samaritan's still on Diva, so there's no grab dragons. But maybe they look to that on third point. Samaritan did start off last round on Zarya, so we might see that coming through. Nifikins and Madero going to use both of their Brigida ults here. So we're going to see Nifikins and Madero continue to rally. Boat's going to be the first one taken down. Beat drop comes out here. Giroux's looking to just wipe through Economy. Not quite getting it. Shatter finds 3.
Beautiful.
Very well done. Economy's going to go down. And so they're still looking to push. If they can get a hold here, no main tank, they're going to have some momentum to get rolling.
That came down to how Old Man Strength used their ultimates for sure, as Train Cloud had the Diva Bomb to start that fight, so he decided, hey, I'm going to chuck into the back line. We're going to amp speed using Fallen and go right in. And what that does is that's going to force their beat drop out for sure. They have to deny the pressure from the Diva Bomb as well as the pressure from the oncoming enemy team, and I guess the May wall wasn't enough to stop all that aggression at once, so the beat drop was forced out, meaning that if you are the dojo after that, you don't have a beat drop, and Fallen, he was looking to have a free beat there, and that's exactly what ended up winning the fight. Despite being at a man advantage, Old Man Strength was able to use that beat, combine with the Shatter, and come back into that one.
So we see Berserky, Prodigy, and Samaritan coming back with ults. Meanwhile, Bolt and Hazard have ults. We're going to see, Berserky's going to kill Hazard into his ult. So that's a massive change in momentum there. Economy going to find Giroux. It's a 6-on-4 here for the dojo, and Economy's just going to take it to them.
It was the right play by Hazard, in my opinion. You had the ult advantage on the side of the dojo rather, to try and make sure that they can't push into that one by using the high noon. It was just kind of unlucky timing that the dragon happened to catch him in that moment, but you can also maybe credit that to a good shot by Berserky. Didn't quite see the angle, but either way, it was the right idea. I just think it was in general unlucky. Either way, though, both May ultimates online for this fight, and maybe Diva Bombs to go with that if Train Cloud can build this one up in time.
And Berserky finds a huge pick out of the gate, so boats can be taken out. They're gonna have to possibly just wait on it, but Berserky's gonna push up, find another kill, and now both teams are gonna reset. And we sort of saw the same thing last time, where they get to a round where the defense can hold around Bookstore and able to force these massive staggers.
Yeah, aggressive, but not too aggressive. They got 2 picks. They were able to use the wall to get that second one, and then they decided, let's back up. Let's not chase them all the way to their spawn. We don't want anyone getting picked for no reason. That's disciplined play right there. You'll also be seeing an Ash swap coming out for Hazard. So let's see how this hero works here on the attacking side.
Yeah, I think definitely wasn't expecting the Ash swap. I mean, maybe that's something like to compete with the Hanzo, and like I think you can get a lot of value out of a Bob here, but not quite what I would have expected. Both rallies come online, both Blizzards coming out. Whatever you can do, I can do better. The back and forth continues. As soon as one pulls the Q, the other hits it. Train Cloud again with the good eats. So absolutely massive Train Cloud. It's like he's got a sixth sense here.
Yeah, but despite what was a great Blizzard eat there, I just don't think the Blizzard usage on the side of Old Man Strength was good enough to really capitalize on that fact. They just kind of threw it out there. It didn't find the value that they were necessarily looking for. But either way, you are looking at a even beat drop matchup coming into this fight, but Giroux does have the Shatter. That's the only difference we're seeing here between these two teams. So it's all about how he might be able to use this one to break that open.
And, yeah, and I think to your point too, a lot of it seemed reactionary. You know, it was just Q, and it's like maybe they would have been better to hold them and just watch one team burn 3, and then they could have come back with 3 of their own. But nonetheless, Giroux has Shatter. Fallen's going to be close to beat drop. Rammy's got the beat, and they're going to be fighting on point from the other side, switching it up a little bit. But so this should be a little bit. Giroux finds 4.
Yeah, we talked about how effective that Shatter would be in winning that fight. Giroux breaking it open with that one, and Train Cloud to finish up on that. So great tank play, winning that fight out right here. So really good job from Old Man Strength, and they're going to have some ultimates to show for it going into the next fight. They didn't have to commit the beat drop. They only needed the Shatter to win that one fight, and now they're going to have 4 ultimates into this next fight to show for it. And really, on the side of the Dojo, you might be looking at a Dragon Shatter, and quite possibly the Blizzard if you charge it up in time. But other than that, they are not looking at any ultimates into this next fight.
And I think the other thing too that I found interesting was, you know, they weren't going to bang their head on the wall of like, we're going to come at them, we're going to come at them. No, they went around and they had the Shatter to go with it, and they didn't have to use beat, but it was in their back pocket. And I think that was really great. Like I don't think they would have found point as quick as we're going to see both Maywalls come up. Bob comes out and they're going to go right into the action here. Hazard finding value on the Bob, finding Prodigy immediately. Rammy going to be taken down as well. So Bob taking care of business, doing a lot here. They've abandoned Cart, but they're going to push right into spawn here and see if they can at least get it most of the distance.
Believe it or not, there was strategy to that Vob. Hazard didn't just throw it out because he knew the beat drop wasn't available. They forced it out last round with a brilliant Shatter from Giroux. So it's all coming together. Every play in this game is connected right now.
So Bomb going to come out here. Train Cloud's going to find economy, so Train Cloud's ability and ult usage continues to be at a peak. Project gonna go down as well. Trade with boat, so no Maze left on site. Giroux finds another massive Shatter. Look for the pin. Gonna find Berserky in it. Bomb comes out in point. Not gonna land anybody here. So they're sort of split in a very obscure way. So we're gonna see how they sort of have to reshuffle. Economy goes to Ball and Prodigy goes to Doomfist. And with under a minute left, they're gonna have 1 or 2, probably just about 1 more fight.
Yeah, and we all, for a second there, saw Boat go to the Widowmaker. Not quite sure what the thought process was there, but the swap back to May, so they'll be resetting their ultimate percentage there. Prodigy, in the meantime, over on the Doomfist, and while that was probably an effort to stagger, yeah, you'll be seeing both Mays actually just swap back, so we're probably not going to be seeing a Blizzard for another round unless we have a crazy overtime fight on our hands.
But we might see a Bob, so we'll keep our eye on that here. Samaritan going to be up top, taking on Hazard one-on-one. The rest of the team's going to have to move on the point. 27 seconds left. There's the Bob coming out. Going to hit right against that wall. Train Cloud going to get booped off here. Berserky's going to pick up a kill onto Hazard. Rammy going to find another kill, get the boop off. And with 12 seconds left here, it looks like this is probably final fight.
Yeah, the Maywall put it in the same spot actually twice that fight. Prodigy put it in a perfect spot. It allows not too much help to come from the backside. It actually dispositioned the Bob as well. I think Bob was supposed to go a little further in there, so it didn't allow for them to break it open as much as they may have wanted to. So the Dojo, because of just those little micro plays such as the Maywalls from Prodigy, etc., will be taking this first map.
And that was beautifully done as we look at our play of the game here. Samaritan on the Zarya, so this is probably a play from fairly early on. Oh yeah, it was.
For sure, but you saw this big shatter just unload everything into the hallway, despite what was so aggressive on the side of the dojo, or Old Man Strength, I think, at the time. They tried to take it back in and go aggressive, but it didn't matter. And actually, an MVP card going to fall on that round, so maybe an unsung hero in our hands.
And with that, we will get the lobby ready for the next game. Um, and so Maddie, I'll kick it to you as I get this next lobby ready. So, what ultimately needs to change here, if if Old Man Strength wants to bring it back, or Dojo just looks to clean this one out?
Yeah, it's a lot less obvious than our last match, in my opinion. I thought we saw so much like evenly matched play from both teams. It was a lot closer of a Kings Row round than one might have expected. However, one thing I do want to highlight, we are seeing a lot of niche picks coming out from Hazard in particular. I think we've seen the Ash from him, we've seen the Echo on third point. I'm not really sure what the thought process is there. Is it just throwing a curveball, whatever? But either way, the dojo is able to take the round overall, so maybe that's something you stop and see how it goes. However, at the same time, you don't have too much time to experiment. Again, it's a best of three, so if something's not working, there's not much time to adapt. So maybe you have to stick with the strategy at this point. Maybe you're committed to it. But yeah, Hazard on the niche picks, I'm not sure how well it was working. I think maybe if you try and go something to a bit more standard than like an Ash or an Echo in a place where Echo may not be the best option, I think you'll be seeing a lot more results because the DPS play from the dojo has been so good that they're going to make the meta work to absolute perfection. So maybe the thought process from Old Man Strength is don't try and meet them at the meta because they might maybe beat us out with some of the good DPS play we've seen from them. Maybe it's kind of throw little curveballs at them, but either way, I don't think it's working. I think you have to take the beer at some point. You can't be afraid to go at them. I like the adaptability, but it's not working. So unless they want to adapt their entire comp to try and make that work, which don't get me wrong would be a very viable choice, I just don't think it's the option right now. But either way, you are faced with the map in Junkertown, which looks like it's coming up next. That could happen. You could see an entire comp swap. I mean, we could be looking at two completely different comps. I mean, 12 completely different heroes even than what we saw on the first round. I'm excited to see, maybe how the change in play pace or the change in map could affect, how these teams play. I think Old Man Strength has a very good chance of bringing it back if they have, better ability to use those niche picks, such as like a Widowmaker, for example, or a Bastion, because on a map like Junkertown, that's all it takes is one or two niche heroes, and you got yourself a round win.
And I think that's the other part of it too. That's really great. One of the things that ultimately the map variety does in favor of teams maybe falling behind in an opening game in like a best of three style. Like you said, you might come out here with two entirely different teams. Like we might see teams go entirely dive, or go to some form of an interesting bunker, just a bash and shield comp. Like especially on a map like Junkertown, while it's no Kings or Scrims Row, I think you can find that variety that can bring a team back and let them get some momentum going for themselves.
Yeah, I actually really like this tournament structure as well because I think that even if they were to lose the first map in the way that they did, if Old Man Strength were to win this one, yes, it would give the map pick over to the side of the dojo. However, you're picking a control map. Control is a map with 3 points, and normally there's at least one or two of those points that are different from the others, meaning, there's still an opportunity for you to play to your playstyle that maybe won you that one map that you didn't realize would also win you the other one. So, like, for example, if they won Junkertown playing a different comp here, and then they went into, like, we'll say Busan, for example, and they were able to win 2 rounds there. Well, I don't know what the map pool is in particular. The point is, it gives them a chance to use their strengths to bring the series back.
And Old Man Strength certainly going to need their strength back here as we're getting ready for this one. We're going to see the OMS attacking first here. I believe I have that right. And so we're going to see Significance going to find the first pick right out of the gate onto Giroux. Hazard going to go down immediately following here, and that's already a 1 fight.
Yeah, that was a quick one for sure. But I think this just boiled down to the Maywall, able to catch them out before they leave spawn. And so it's going to have to force out some swaps for Old Man Strength if they're going to respond to the aggressive play. Already seeing the Orisa Sigma look, Junkrat as well. So a bit of variety. And this is what we talked about. This is what we want to see because, it changes things up. And it throws curveballs here at what would otherwise be maybe just a win on the mirror matchup for the dojo.
Now, this is interesting. I've never really seen spawn held this well, so I'm curious to see how it pays off ultimately, because I haven't seen it happen a ton. I mean, so Boat's going to be on the underside just trying to grenade through. Wall comes up, prevents anything further. Train Cloud, Nifkin's going to trade. So they're finding that first pick here. onto the Brigida, so maybe enough to get something going here. Rami falling low itself, so no healers left here. Maybe they'll be able to get something moving.
If you ask me, Junkrat's not going to break you out of spawn here. I don't think that's a good character to do that. I think more of like a pick type of character that, you know, all of a sudden clicks your head and you're dead, such as like Hazard's Ash right now, for example, coupled with the Mercy Pocket. That's what's going to break you out of spawn. I don't think Junkrat was the option. However, now we are into more open area, so if you wanted to try and get the Junkrat working, maybe you could go for it. But either way, I don't think it was a good option. I think Boat going to this Hanzo is a lot better of an option here, as you can take the meter up against Berserky, also have the range against Prodigy, coupled with Hazard. They're going to be able to put a lot more damage from range, and that's one of the maps that really enables that, is Junkertown. It allows you to do that type of strategy.
We'll look to see how Dojo responds here. Berserky coming up on Dragons. We're going to see Bob come out of point here from Hazard. Berserky finds the pick immediately on the Hazard. Boat's going to go down as well. So while Hazard is brought back, they're up against a 5v6. So Berserky's going to be taken down here. So what's interesting, so they're off cart. They have just about a minute and a half left, and it sort of seems like they're still looking for something here, Maddie.
Yeah, no, but I did like how they started the fight at the very least, as the Dojo was almost able to flip sides as if they were the attacking side, which means that if they're able to get a pick here, which you just saw them happen, they got a pick on a boat, Samaritan was able to instantly just go back to the spawn door. I mean, they have that positioning, so what's it matter, right? And the minute Boat steps out, he's taken down once again. So now you're seeing, you know, the Nano go out on the Hazard. It's just desperation to try and keep this one going.
So Samaritan's going to find Fallen, which is absolutely huge, but they're going to lose 2 in the meantime, so point remains contested. Honestly, looks more like a free-for-all than a team match right now. As we see some fighting under point in the wall. We see a couple on point. Giroux is on point, has it moving just a little bit, but as everyone's so spread out, maybe that's sort of what they're looking for, as we see Bolt coming in on the Tracer.
Yeah, I don't think that the Dojo right now has the numbers they need to win this one, but as I say that, the Shatter may be changing that.
So Rami will take out Hazard here. Sigma ult comes out. We'll see if it's able to land anything. Train Club not able to find anything, but Hazard comes back. Fallen Valkyries. Giroux's going to pop Bongo here. Going to be immediately destroyed here by Rami. We see... Ooh, I was waiting to see if Economy was going to go off the map. Not quite.
Close.
But Rami's going to find the boop on Train Cloud here. So Giroux's got Fallen, but Rami has Economy. So they're going to fight on the edge. I'm not sure that's where they want to be. Giroux's just going to say, the heck with this. I'm out of here. And so point's going to be stopped here with 15 seconds. And I mean, so they have Train Cloud on ball. I think they'll be able to touch.
That was the most Junkertown fight I've ever seen. Everyone was everywhere. And I think that's exactly what you want, as actually, if you are the Dojo trying to come back into this one, because the more you split them up, the less they're able to focus you down as you try and stagger in one by one here. They did start that fight at full strength, so I think that the split play that came out from Old Man Strength actually worked to the Dojo's advantage.
Yeah, I would say they fought on the edge so far away from point. Train Cloud was able to start this overtime here, but the level of difficulty trying to get through a wall, through CC, on the point. So Rami's going to be taken down, though, immediately. Shatter's going to find a few. Dragons come out across point. Prodigy continues to get kills, finds 2 there. Train Cloud's going to basically look to be in charge of keeping point exactly where it is. So massive ante comes out here. We continue to see Dojo has the numbers advantage. Hazard's going to go down. Madero's going to go down as well. Train Cloud goes down. And so that's basically effectively a full hold with 80 meters on the cart.
Yeah, I think the problem with what Old Man Strength has composition-wise is that once you get to that final stage, that overtime stage, and you're going over the ball and the Tracer, your typical stall characters, a character like Mei, and we saw it one by one, just pick after pick. You sit on a cart, they have to come to you. They have to be in that space, and Mei, it's a space controlling character, and that's why it's so good right now, especially on maps that have tight space. And even though Junkertown is such an open map, the minute some other factor forces you to kind of close and come together on one certain area, Mei just tears you apart. And really the ultimate advantage that they had, because they had been playing Mei the whole time anyways, pretty much allowed for them to just have the Blizzard, and it didn't really matter if you came in one by one, because the Mei was going to be able to deal with that. We saw Prodigy do just that.
And so far, we're going to see if they're able to get it 80 meters themselves here. So we're going to see, it looks like maybe Berserky coming out on a Widow. And we'll take this chance to remind you as we're getting ready for this next map here that we'll have another game coming at you right after this, regardless of the result. So that'll be our next match in the pools, and then we'll be back with more action tomorrow. Thank you to everyone who's participating and watching this. So we're really excited to have you here, and so we're really excited to see how the rest of this one plays itself out as we get ready for the next attack. Looks like we're going to see Samaritan coming out on the Sigma here, Economy on the Rhine, and they're not going to be held in spawn.
Oh, I think we might be seeing a bit of like a recreation of the Gladiators Bamboozle, right? You're only now seeing Berserky try and leave spawn. You're seeing them all go on a flank. Berserky's going to come out of his spawn now and try and find a pick once the rotation comes through. This could actually work very well here, depending on what happens.
Boat's gonna find the first pick at least. Hazard's gonna trade, so they're gonna win that advantage. Nipkins being taken out, a huge loss there in the healers department. We're gonna see. So they're still able to move cart at this point. It's not a matter of numbers or fights, but really how far they can push it before they're able to just win it with a whole bunch of So they already have it 50 meters out the way, and to this point, no contest yet from Giroux stepping up.
Yeah, very good job by Berserky of making sure that there's always a cross angle. Wherever the front line's pushing, Berserky's on the other side, meaning that there's damage coming from both fronts. As an Orisa, it is so hard to defend against that because, again, your shield only goes one way, so it really comes down to the Sigma to be able to defend against one. They lost their Sigma, they're in a tough spot.
And so Dojo going to be able to continue pushing here. It looks like they might have a free ride here. Sources Prodigy and Berserky just popping off. They were able to find the advantage from the beginning. They would not be denied getting out of spawn, and they will not be denied rolling this thing in. We're going to see Boat try to do a stall tactic here. Train Club is immediately taken out. Lucio and Tracer, obviously some of the best staggers, not quite going to be able to get it. At this point, this map is going to go to the Dojo.
Yeah, and that's the entire series going to the Dojo. So despite it being a quick one, it was very educational. We were able to take a lot from it and how these teams like to play, how they play. And I just think overall we had to credit it to just pristine DPS play from the Dojo. They did a really good job all around of just, utilizing the fact that their DPS are good mechanical players. I mean, everyone in the game is good mechanically, obviously, but it seems like the Dojo in particular like to play around their strong DPS, especially on some of those ranged heroes such as Widowmaker. We saw the cross angles coming in, and there was really nothing that you could do at that point on the comp that they were playing at for Old Man Strength. I mean, they weren't able to deal with the cross angle that came out once they lost their Sigma, and it really just boiled down to, not having really too long to go. It allowed for the Dojo to kind of experiment and maybe throw something you wouldn't normally expect at Old Man Strength. And again, that's all it takes. It's only one map that they needed to win there, and these are short series, so you just have to throw variety, and all of a sudden, like, you don't know how to deal with it, no time to adapt, basically, and you're done.
And so with that, we're gonna hop off here for just a little bit to get you ready for the next match. Give us time to get everything ready and flowing with the rest of the tournament. So our next match here is going to be Nocturnal versus Lunaris. The rest of the bracket will continue. If you're interested in following the bracket and the results, you can continue to be with us in the Revolution Discord. You can also find us on Twitter. All of those you can find with the exclamation points in your Twitch chat and in the panels at the bottom of the screen. Again, we will be back with more action tomorrow. So what happens today is we go from pools, which we're doing now. We'll figure out who's moving to the single elimination bracket after the 9 o'clock games. We'll come back tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern, with beginning of the quarterfinals, followed by semifinals at 6 and 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And Sunday, we'll be back with the grand finals at 7 p.m. Eastern with a 6:30 p.m. Eastern pre-game show. So with that, for myself, for Maddie, for Shape, and Rin's also in the chat helping us out, and everyone else with the broadcasts, we'll be back in just a little bit. It will be Temporal and Sir Waltham bringing you our next match. So that'll be around 9:15. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more action shortly. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you in a little bit.
Stick with us, guys.
Welcome back to Outbreak, powered by Revolution Overwatch. We've got the last group stage match of the night for you, Nocturnal versus Lunaris. My name is Temporal. I'm joined by Sir Waltham, and this is a top of the table clash, Waltham.
Top of the table. Either way, you're not going to be paying cable prices to see this here on Twitch. Nocturnal versus Lunaris. Temp, we were talking a little bit before the match about this. These teams, they're looking pretty even right now. What do you think our total read is on this?
I don't think there's much to split them. They both had handy wins in the first two matches. They've had both 2-0s against the other teams in their division. And even if you look beyond Outbreak, they are so closely matched. You look at their Open Division records. They both participated in Season 2 of the North American Open Division. They finished 16th and 17th, respectively.
Yeah,
so nothing separating them.
It's going to be very close. Going to be looking forward to it here. From what I understand, we're going to be taking a quick trip onto Blizzard World to start. And overall, very excited as we get moving in here.
Why wouldn't you start here? It's the home of this game. It's Blizzard World. You know what? Interesting. Would Blizzard World in the Overwatch universe feature an Overwatch section?
That seems like some paradox stuff we're getting into here, Tam. You're messing with my mind a little bit. It's a little early in the stream for that.
All right, let's go through. Let's introduce the teams. On the left side of your screen, we have Nocturnal, and that's featuring Zem, Kitty King, Like and Human, PG1, and Akash. And for the side of Lunaris, Waltham?
Yeah, we're going to be seeing Bulby, Pure, Annie, Twice, Geo, and Noctis once again on the attack in the red.
And so for me, I recognize a few of these names, having seen them before. Nocturnal particularly, we've seen them. Well, we say if you've been watching T3 Overwatch recently, you've seen them participating in events such as the Foresight Tournament, such as the the NA Echo Showdown. And I mean, you got to watch out for this tank line. PG1 in particular is an absolute terror on off tank, and I love seeing their Sigma, and I'm glad they're starting on it now.
Yeah, I like seeing a little bit of the dive. It's really good at contesting that high ground, which you're going to see Bulby jump onto rather immediately.
Indeed, and it's a dive v bunker composition. Nocturnal wants to play it safe. They're waiting at the back here. They've got their shields set up where they need to. They got Human taking on the Echo role, which they've proven quite deadly on in other tournaments. So I'm looking forward to seeing if Lunaris can actually deal with that Echo in the sky.
Well, so far it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case, as Twice does take a shot from the Ashes rifle right to the dome. Going to be staggering out the DPS for the offense a little bit early on into the fight.
Yeah, but no solid engagement quite yet. They do see the Orisa and the Ashe on the high ground. Not much support there for those two heroes, so they're going to have to back off. There's an immortality field to ensure they escape, but Zem is cut down. Bulby doing the needful, taking out the immortality field as well. And now this might be the go signal for Lunaris. They're going to push onto the point, start having progress. They're going to force Nocturnal to come down to them. Akash doing a great job just being that solid object. The Fortify making sure Orisa doesn't take much damage at all. And Unhuman is going to get the kill onto Arnie, proving that they are the superior Echo, at least in the first minute and a half of this match. Now it's just a brawl on the point.
Yeah, it does not seem to be stopping. A little bit earlier, we saw Kosh try to get dove on by Bulby and Pure, but that halt came out, yoinking them off that high ground, and Bulby taking another rock by PG1.
The ultimates coming online, supports are plenty. There's a Transcendence on the point. Lunaris wants to take this fight here and now, and they're going to do it. The kills are finally falling in their favor. They've cleaned up, and finally they're going to make some progress on point A.
Yeah, you're going to be a little bit disappointed with that if you're Anhuman, as it is written. You invested that Echo duplicate, and you didn't get a whole lot for it. You still lost the point. You kind of got to be wishing you had that one back. A lot of ults on the other side for the offense. Now we're going to be seeing 3 come up with the Diva Bomb in tow shortly. And already the air battle going on with Annie taken to the sky with Echo.
Indeed. Nocturnal has a little to fall back on. They have a rally available, which will pull out immediately into the fight, and we might see a counter rally. Annie's used their duplicate to take on the role of the Brigitte. It's looking for someone to hit, oh, come here, hit me, come back, let me hit you. He finally does build up the rally. Then there's going to be a stack of armor available for Lunaris. It doesn't benefit Tracer, who runs straight into the might of PG1. No, what use is time travel when you can't even get away from gravity? Pure over the top with her self-destruct takes Unhuman out of the sky. It's very back and forth here, but the cart has been pushing forward this whole time.
Yeah, this is continual progress for the offensive Lunaris right now. They're going to be pretty content with this. They're not investing too much. Twice even able to peel that rally off of like with a pulse bomb. You can't overheal burst damage like that, so they're going to be pretty content with that. And it looks like just now the offense is going to start to pull back on the aggression, but a big rock once again on the Bulby.
Oh, rock to the face. You know, what are you running into? Mace to the face, rock to the face. It's just a hard day for a Winston.
Yeah, Bulby has just been having a rough time of it, and that's kind of what you expect against this tank line that Nocturnal is running. The halt, as well as the accretion, can be such a powerful combo that stuns you out. Even if you don't get hit by the halt, PG1 just seems to find those rocks.
The PG1's had plenty of practice. I know I've personally seen PG1 play on Sigma since late last year when Orisa Sigma was the meta, so Nocturnal currently well placed with the composition they're on. They're well versed in these heroes and they're making it work right now. They've burnt a lot of time off the clock. And look at this, Akash picking up the first 2 kills of the fight. Ooh. Lunaris cannot make any more progress.
Yeah, Akash picking up a lot more than just 2 kills, almost twice that. And Human going to be using the Winston, getting pretty far up into the spawn of the offense. Just going to be trying to get out with that Echo Flight. Will be successful in doing that. But that Diva Stagger on the Pure, that's going to be painful. That's going to cost a little bit of time, no matter how you look at it. And right now, the offense really seems a little bit neutered here. It seems like they haven't found the secret sauce to really bypass and take this high ground pylon area.
Indeed, but they're coming up on some ultimates of their own. We see Twice are swapped off onto the Soldier 76, looking for a little more shield pressure to be applied. As the rally is the opening play from Noctis, but they run straight into the Gravitic Flux. That slaps Bulby down, and he's taken out of the fight. And again, this is going to be another fight stalled out for Lunaris.
Yeah, that Grav Flux came in just perfectly. Bulby got lifted up, the focus fire was there, and then, you know, once you're sure that that Winston's going to stay half health by the time they hit the ground, you don't even have to worry about it. You know they're going to be dead either way. This fight's still trying to be carried on, though, and a little bit of a dive in from Bulby, but falling off the high ground on Pylon.
Yeah, they've got to take advantage of the fact that Unhuman wasn't quite back, coming out of spawn, as Echo got a lot of mobility, but not necessarily fast all the time. But they've waited long enough, and now Nocturnal's fully set up on the defense.
Yeah, Nocturnal is looking pretty great right about now. They're going to have a few more ultimates coming online with that duplicate, as well as the Baptiste window coming up very shortly as well. I anticipate we might see Unhuman go onto that Winston again. It seemed like they found quite a bit of success with that.
Oh, the pulse bomb stuck on the Brigadier. She's spinning around going, where is it, where is it, where is it? But it was on her back in the end. Unhuman taken out of the fight, and that's a nice even trade. Yes, you've lost your support, but you got a key DPS out of Nocturnal, especially Unhuman, who had the duplicate up, self-destruct over the top, trying to clear some space. And now it looks like Nocturnal has to fall down off the high ground. The car's made a little more progress. Kitty King takes Bulby out of the fight, though will make it a bit harder to push forward without that Winston pressure being applied.
Yeah, and it was only a little bit of movement from the offense, but you can already see it kind of changed up Nocturnal's strategy a little bit just based on where the Orisa shield is placed. They're going to have to hold it a little bit more forward on this overpass here as opposed to right next to the artillery cannon. So they're a little bit of change of style just from a few meters brought on by the offense, but they need to hurry.
Yeah, you're not too worried about a pulse bomb just yet, but Zem is building them up in no time flat. There's a nice rotation through the building of all places. Lunaris is going to take the high ground. Bulby goes in, still currently alone, gets taken down, but there's a Transcendent supported tactical visor in play. Unhuman whips out their own tactical visor? Of course. Sorry, Echo is very confusing sometimes, and that's going to be the difference maker. PG1 with the Gravitic Flux to make sure the attack can't go anywhere else. Overtime has been triggered, but there's no one here on the side of Lunaris to push. They're going to be stopped here 95 meters into point B.
Yeah, not the worst offensive showing we've seen, but Lunaris certainly not in the breath of relief zone that they would like to be. Overall, I think I would have liked to see a change of tanks. I'm not sure that the Winston was able to maneuver around that Ori Sig as much as, you know, Bulby would have liked him to be able to.
No, it's just such a potent combination. You can use the Orisa to put them, line up, you know, Winston comes in, that's all right, we'll just put him where we want, and there's a rock to the face, problem solved. So, although on the side of Nocturnal, the tank play is not the only highlight, and Human was showing us exactly how you should play an Echo. I mean, the great duplicates, that Soldier 76 play at the end, I heard the one tac visor come out, and then I didn't think much of the second tac visor, and then, all of a sudden, Lunaris taking another fight. Oh, that's right. Echo can be anyone they want.
Yeah, some incredible flexibility if you have a good Echo player, and I think on Human gonna check that box. I liked the Winston play we saw coming out from them, but now as we move on towards the Nocturnal on the offense, we're gonna be seeing a little bit of a swap on composition here. And there's one thing that's getting me excited here, and it's we're seeing a little bit of Swedish on the board, a little bit more Swedish.
Yes. Thank you, Annie. We love seeing Torbjorn on the board. Decreasing the average height of the team makes you a little harder to hit. So everyone's aiming for the usual head hitbox spot. Well, that's not there. Torbjorn is a little lower. But that full bunker coming out, twice sticking on this Soldier 76, it proved moderately effective. But we're also seeing Nocturnal switch over to the dive of their own.
Yeah, and already we can see Lunaris holding off in a different spot as compared to their opponents. In Nocturnal, Pure holding right on top of that little shack area, on top of cart area, just trying to maintain a little larger zone of control, making themselves a little bit harder to dive on.
Indeed. PG1 cops the rock to the face, a little bit of fair play there from Pure. But there's just... Ooh, this is a nice rotation. Looks like Nocturnal is going to wrap around the point. They're taking the high ground to the back, and now Lunaris under a little bit of pressure. The bunker happy in that home, but they're going to have to push out onto the point at some point. Do stop this catcher progress, which is now starting to build up. Oh, there's lots of pressure. Akash forced to back away. Unhuman taken out of the fight. Not wary enough of that turret. Annie proving a great pick on this Torbjorn.
Yeah, that
looks
turret
like...
placement is kind of confusing. It's nutty, right? Because you expect the turret to be maintaining that zone of control in front of and a little bit onto the point, but the turret actually got a lot of value from shooting behind the little cart house that I was talking about earlier. So it actually was dealing constant damage to Unhuman, constantly forced them out, put the pressure on them. It was interesting placement.
It was getting a view across the point, but now it's been taken out of the fight. It's going to force a Transcendence from Kitty King to be used. Kitty King's going to see the turret taken out. Going to use the Transcendence to push him, but Annie! Oh, no turret, no problem. Annie picking up 3 kills to try and balance the scales, and now Geo has a Transcendence of their own. This defense is going to continue to hold here. Only 1 tick given.
Yeah, Geo investing that Transcendence. Normally on a one fight like that, you gotta think that's gonna be a little bit painful, but I don't necessarily know if that's the case here. It was looking pretty slim on numbers in the Snack Shack for a moment, so I certainly can forgive the panic in that instance. And so far, 1 point given up, but Lunaris still looking very healthy, very hefty, and they still have the majority of ults on the board.
Indeed they do, and you've got that Molten Core, you've got the Soldier 76 ultimate. It's going to be very difficult for Nocturnal right now to approach the point and stay alive, especially once now that Transcendence and the Rally are not available. And Human's going to invest the Duplicate. They're going to become an Orissus, and as 2 Orissus on the field, 1 for each team. Although, unfortunately, they're knocked straight out of that, so not going to get the Supercharger into the mix. As self-destruct into the house. The defense is scattering, but it's not fast enough. PG1's going to clear house. That is going to be what Nocturnal needs to take the point.
Man, Sigma, D.Va, PG1 just delivering those massive abilities where you need them. It was a costly fight for both sides. Only the Grab Flux and Rally going to be on the side of Lunaris and Nocturnal respectively. So going into the Streets phase, you might expect a little bit more of a drier fight, but I don't know if that's necessarily going to be a problem for the offense, considering that cart line is basically in sight by now.
Indeed it is, and they're pushing through this choke point for free. Lunaris not willing to take the fight. They're not that they probably can with this composition. They're relying on pretty much a one-hold situation.
Yeah, I really like this turret placement coming in from Annie right onto the leg of building right there. Going to be taken down by Human rather quickly, but it does put the pressure on that Echo not to fly around as much. But a lot of space being bought for this cart right now. It's going to be on the side of Nocturnal to just push in.
Yeah, but they're pushing into a Supercharger. Akash feels the full force of Annie, popping that rivet gun in the face. Geo, that was a nice pulse bomb for them, taking the Zenyatta out of the fight, but without your main tank, they're willing to continue applying pressure, but they're not necessarily going to take the fight. Oh, I take that back. Pure, isolated on the low ground, cut down. That was nice spotting. No, almost, sorry. Wow, kept alive. The kinetic grass doing absolute wonders. Oh, I was so worried for Pure then, but they've come away with it. They take PG1 completely out of the fight, and all of a sudden, Lunaris is back into it. And again, another late Transcendence invested by Kitty King. You've got to wonder. Okay, maybe it was necessary. The kills are coming through for Nocturnal. This is so back and forth. so fast I can barely keep up. And this car is pushing home. They're going to do it. A nice, easy Blizzard World win in the end.
Yeah, I was real confused by Anhuman's option to duplicate a Baptiste of all things. Usually you go for the tanks, usually go for something that builds up a quick ult. But then that immortality field goes down, and it just provides even more defensive positioning for the offensive team in a weird way of going about it. But it provides that space to be bought for the offensive team, and from there it just seems like the point or the fight flips, and they just take the card all the way to completion.
Indeed, so a solid performance there by Nocturnal. They showed in the defense. They showed so much on the defense, playing that bunker composition almost to perfection, holding halfway through point B, and Lunaris didn't really have an answer for it. Their own bunker on point A was all right, but in the end, I mean, I think both teams really struggled trying to play dive against it. No, they didn't. Sorry, I don't know where I'm going with that point.
Yeah, I have to agree, or I have to make my point that I think it was definitely it just seemed like Lunaris did not have the context to run the dive during Streets phase. They handled it to a fair degree on first point, but they weren't quite able to pull it around, manage things on that second point like they needed to. And that's really where Nocturnal, got ahead of them if you look at these as a side-by-side kind of comparison, because it feels like Nocturnal took a little bit longer on first point, but it doesn't matter when you're actually able to complete second.
Indeed, and I think the comp that Lunaris run on the defense kind of inhibited them a little bit. You're playing that bunker, which is fine if you hold, but the moment the bunker collapses, you're already set up as far back as you can.
Mhm.
If that defense collapses, you're just giving the opposing side free space, and you might not get that second fight that if you would have got if you're holding at that choke point leading into the second area.
Yeah, you certainly have to think so. So either way, we're going to be seeing Nocturnal walk away with that first point. So we are going to be going on to our hybrid or our escort map. Excuse me. I can take good casting notes. I can promise. We're going to be heading on to that escort map, and honestly, there's a number of different ways we could see this go if it's escort. I'm really fascinated because, of course, an escort map that is possible to be seen would be Watchpoint Gibraltar. And we talked about how the dive wasn't quite there from Lunaris, and Watchpoint I feel is a really strong dive map. It's an area that you can have to contest a lot of that high ground if you're on the offense, or if you're on the defense. It provides a lot of good areas to really kind of get the battle started from. So with that in mind, I look forward to seeing how these teams are going to interact on that map, which it does look like is going to be Watchpoint.
It will be, and Nocturnal has shown on the last map and in other places that they are capable of running what is I guess you'd call the meta dive right now, the Echo Tracer composition. You've got Zem doing such good work on Tracer and Human, I mean, proving so capable on Echo, and it's a new hero. And it's so good if you got a player on your team that can master that hero really quickly, and the other teams haven't developed an effective strategy of dealing with it. It can sometimes there'll be nothing you can do. You're forced to accept your fate.
Yeah, I really like that point because you're absolutely right. When it comes to a new character, sometimes the only thing you can do to get better against them is just hard practice, and this obviously for these teams is not hard practice. There is actual clout, there is prize on the line that I don't think either of them are going to want to just be throwing away. And if you have knowledge of a character over your opponent who doesn't, that just innately favors you. You're absolutely correct.
And speaking of prize, the prize pool for this tournament, $1,000 prize pool for this tournament, has been provided by Careless Coach. So, contrary to what the name suggests, Careless Coach is full of caring for the Tier 3 community. So, thank you very much for helping us put on this awesome show. The teams are getting ready to roll out. We're seeing that dive on defense, but we're seeing dive on attack as well.
Yeah, once again, Lunaris are going to be on the attacking team to start. A very dive-looking composition coming from both Soldier and Tracer to differ, though.
Indeed, I like the Soldier pick. It's nice to see an old man come out of retirement. He's been put out to pasture, but you've got to keep your mind active. You don't want to just deteriorate by doing nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So far, Nocturnal willing to allow space though for Lunaris to push through. The cart's down in the car wash, as it's known.
Yeah, I mean, so far this is just a lot of space purchase from Lunaris right now. And I don't think like, obviously that's not great. You don't want that soldier to get that high ground. You don't want that huge line of sight for those rapid fire hit scan characters that excel at that medium range. You just don't want to give that up, but yet there we have it. Nocturnal just seems to be opting out of that space.
Indeed they are, and they've given up a significant amount of progress. The cart up to the final turn. Finally, Nocturnal all over the cart, pretending they're the attacking team. Maybe they're a little bit confused. But who knows? Unhuman and Twice trade each other out. I like that. The two hit scan, the two projectile abilities they have allow them to trade each other out. But Zem getting the kill onto Bulby will finally stop this attack right here.
Yeah, and Pure actually going to be fighting out this battle enough to have the opportunity to mech. Will be meching, and the card's just kind of been forgotten at this point. It's irrelevant here, but that's the way Nocturnal's going to favor it. They're going to be content with just getting these kills, ensuring that the cart doesn't move any further. PG1 needs to be a little bit careful, but going to be doing a little bit better than their Diva counterpart in Pure, who just has to take the dive.
Indeed. The tanks and Nocturnal actually need to be a little more careful. Actually, both the teams need to be careful because there's not too much burst healing available for either team, besides those armor packs.
Yeah, and of course, that Zenyatta Transcendence will be coming online for both teams as well. A lot of ultimates as we talk about the ult game coming online as we look towards this next fight with Light popping Rally.
I'm waiting for these duplicates to come out. Zem gets the kill onto Arnie. Great pulse bomb denies one duplicate for the attacking team. Unhuman may not be forced to use their own. The self-destruct PG1 using that to buy some space for Unhuman to do work. 3 kills. Oh, that's a fantastic fight for Nocturnal.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's a great example of using Echo, very excellently, extremely proficiently, and Human getting the 3 in the kill feed. Obviously, gonna be pretty proud about that, but it came at a little bit of cost. Lunaris gonna be coming in with right around 6 ults, but Annie can't take that early death.
Again, Zem. How does a Tracer take an Echo out of the sky?
Incredible willpower, if I'm having to guess here, Tim. And just some good team play, as it seems. This high ground, again, just... I thought it was a misplay for the side of Nocturnal to give it up, but it seems like they're making it work for them.
Indeed, and they've got Like up on the high ground. Not quite there with the rally. It's going to be a rally instead for Noctis. The Transcendence is available for Kitty King if they want to trade support ult for support ult, but they're going to lose Akash at the start of the fight. The Primal Rage is ready and available. And now we're going to see Primal Rage come out from Annie and Bobby. There are 2 Pred Primates on the field. They are making so much space for this cart to move forward. As an emergency Winston coming through from Unhuman, Akash will be back with their own Primal Rage, so we could see 4 Primal Rages in the same fight if we are lucky. No, Unhuman knocked out of monkey form. There's Akash, supported by the Transcendence from Kitty King. That will wear off, but in the end, Unhuman PG1 back in the fight, getting the kills they need. This attack from Lunaris looks so good.
Ooh.
Oh, nice little absorb on the Pulse Bomb. It's a little less effective from Zem, but Nocturnal might have done the work they needed to.
Yeah, you're gonna be devastated if you're on the side of Lunaris. You have that primal, you disrupt everybody on that high ground, but in the end, it just doesn't get anywhere, and then nobody on cart to contest. Oh,
Bobby was on the ramp on the wrecking ball, just rolling around, wasn't quite close enough. Oh, that is brutal.
Yeah, that is painful. Not only in the fact that you are stuck basically with the cart being not even at first point, but then to know that maybe it didn't have to be there. Maybe one of your teammates could have done something a little bit differently. That mental game is going to be shaking a little bit from Lunaris right now, and I can't say I'd blame them, but these guys are pretty good. I'd say they'd have to at least have a little bit of mental resiliency to make it this far.
Indeed, and I enjoyed seeing so many Primal Rages on the field at once there from those 2 monkeys just swatting around the defense, at all the space they needed, but just weren't able to take advantage of it. And they were also able to deal with Unhuman's own Winston once they were duplicated, so just... that's got to hurt. But you got to look forward. You can do this defense. It is possible. You can stop the teams down on the car wash. If you're really lucky, you can stop them on the first corner.
He certainly can. Either way, I think it should go without saying that they can't play on the defense like Nocturnal did. Nocturnal gave up quite a bit of space just to get that really good positioning and then stop the cart like a wedge in a door, just from moving any further. And now it looks like they're not going to take that immediate right in front of spawn fight. They're going to take instead the fight right on top of car wash.
Indeed, there are no changes for either team willing to settle on these comps, and if you're the side of Nocturnal, why not? It's proven so effective so far. They can make it work, and they've got time to do it. This cart is already at least 2/3 of the way there, or halfway there.
Yeah, I mean, Zem already just being a pain in the side of these teams. They're just trying to pry that damage in, and you can already see the defensive team of Lunaris had to kind of jump up onto higher ground so the Tracer couldn't sting at them a little bit more.
PG1 solidly pushing this car, allowing everyone else on their team to just wrap around, jump onto that high ground, putting lots of pressure. Twice has been knocked down, so going to have to reposition themselves. Those legs being put to good use. As Zem takes Bulby out of the fight, there's the big Winston pressure gone. No Primal Rage coming anytime soon. Twice takes Unhuman. That's a nice trade back. They might have to wait for the Echo to come back. Oh, what a pulse bomb. Twice out of the fight. Zem doing what they need to do. Takes Pure out of mech. Zem is going to put the team on their back and carry them through here. You know, don't want to be overshadowed by this star Echo player. Transcendence inside server room. Kitty King going to be responded to by Transcendence from Geo, is adding on the Diva of all things. So 2 Divas in play, and when you got Pure out of mech, maybe that's what you need to do. Throws in a self-destructor, gets caught in the door, but in the meantime, Kitty, Zem, and PG1 all picked up kills of their own. The cart is pushing home as a Primal Raging Bulby back in the fight, doing what they can, but all they're doing is batting the heroes away that are coming straight back to the cart. There's a rally there from Like. This cart is touching the box. Nocturnal can taste victory on the tip of their tongue. PG1 doing what they can to make it happen. Takes Twice out of the fight. Self-destruct over the top. Going to clear some space. The cart pushes home, and that's it. Nocturnal have done it. They finished top of the group and going through to playoffs.
Yeah, Nocturnal going to be claiming it very, very dominantly there on Gibraltar. No big surprise, considering, you know, I don't want to say I knew it, but I had a strong feeling here, Temporal, that dive might not be the best look coming in from a Lunar. And I start to wonder if, you know, Nocturnal kind of felt that out on Blizzard World and were able to just manipulate that moving forward. Of course, overall, some stellar play coming through. I think we saw that Nocturnal definitely not uncomfortable on the dive themselves. In fact, looking pretty good on it overall.
I mean, we saw that play of the game there. When we were casting it, we said, oh, and Human gets the 3 kills, but then it's Zem that gets to play of the game for that very play. So I loved watching what Zem was doing on the Tracer. Only needed to play 1 hero today, but it made so much of an impact. We saw some crucial pulse bombs at the start of fights, and especially on Blizzard World, it was stopping Lunaris' attacks dead on. You know, you come up, you're ready, everyone's back, and all of a sudden, oh no, Brigida's out of the fight, pulse bomb. Makes such a difference.
Yeah, overall, you know, I think we've been seeing some great plays come out of Nocturnus, and even, you know, Lunaris had a couple that, you know, shined through, but it just seemed like Nocturnal kind of had the leg up. You know, when you compare, you know, tanks to tanks, when you compare DPS to DPS, we didn't, you know, analyze the supports so much, but a lot of times people would say that that's, you know, that means they're doing their jobs. You know, the support that gets called out is probably not the support you want on your team.
Indeed. Well, we can talk about the supports, particularly the Zenyatas. I guess it's obvious when the Zenyatta is using Transcendence. I feel like Kitty King had questionable Transcendence or 2, but most of the time they were doing a stellar job. I also enjoyed seeing Geo on the Zenyatta for Lunaris. They had some Transcendences at the right time. And if you're playing those 2 supports, you mentioned it during the cast, Brigitte Zenyatta, not the most healing output if you're not in a brawl. And so teams playing around the supports and those supports doing their best to support the team, it was well done by both teams.
Yeah, overall, I think we can kind of give them that praise. They can walk away with that on both sides. But overall, end of the day, when we look at the scoreboard, Nocturnal going to be walking away 2-0 in this match versus Lunaris, which means, as you said earlier, going to be putting them at the top of the bracket.
Indeed. There's a little preview ahead for the teams. They get an idea now what they're facing. If you're not comfortable playing dive or playing into dive, look out for Nocturnal. They are going to have your number.
Yeah, definitely be looking forward to seeing if these teams do their research. If Nocturnal does their research and kind of manipulates, you know, wherever dive may be a strong option for them to kind of force onto the enemy team.
Indeed, but Lunaris not quite out of it yet. They will finish 2nd place in the division, so there's a chance that they can be into the playoff bracket thanks to that wild card draw that will happen later on. the details will be posted. And if you want to get those details, make sure you're following us on all the Revolution Overwatch socials. We've got Twitter, we've got Twitch, which hopefully you're on. There's a YouTube channel. And also join the Discord. That's where all the teams are hanging out. If you're on another team watching this, you already know that because you're in the Discord. And this is all me just blabbing about stuff you know. But if you're not already in the Discord, join in. Everyone's here. We're all excited, and we have 2 more stellar days of action lined up for you. Quarterfinals and semifinals tomorrow night. Grand finals on Sunday morning US time.
Sunday evening.
Sunday evening. Thank you. Sorry, I confused my time zones. Do not miss out on any of that action.
Yeah,
I've been Temple, but go ahead. Take us out, Sir Wiltham.
Well, with that, I want to say absolutely. And don't worry, if you do join the Discords, the casters have our own little private room where we don't have to, infect any of the actual, members. So you don't have to worry about actually interacting with us. We have our own special little brand. But
it's a padded cell.
Yeah, that's a very good way of putting it. For those of us here at Revolution, I have been Sir Waltham. You can catch me on Twitch or Twitter at Sir Waltham.
And you can catch me, Temporal, on Twitch at Temp0rel, all spelled out with alphabet letters. Thank you, and see you tomorrow.